What is shaking? Adam Copeland, Tom Tolbert with you. Today, we're going to be joined by Mike Trudell, Spectrum Sports. Talk a little Lakers, Warriors, Jeremy Affeld, 350, Marcus Thompson, 450, and we'll be talking Warriors. We'll be talking Casey Schmidt. Man, I don't know if he wants to keep raising the bar. I mean, at some point it's going to come back down, doesn't it? But keep flying as long as you can. It's been awesome to watch him. That's been a lot of fun. So got a lot of stuff for you. Of course, we got our Ska Fridays, which is always fun.
Ooh, a Ska Friday. It's a sunny Friday, too. I walked into work today. It was nice out. I had a jacket on and to take it off on my way in. Make sure I didn't have any pit stains now that we're streaming live on KNBR and the KNBR app.
Yep.
That'd be a tough deal if I come in one day and I need a T-shirt change, something like that. Because now they'll know.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, nothing. I sit here in the sweat for 4 hours. That's what I'll have to do.
By the way, for the people that were listening yesterday, I'm going to take my camera just real quick.
Are you showing the candy, the bag of candy? Oh, you found four. You got
3.5 gallon bags of those damn candies. So there you go.
You got an estimate? You got an estimate on the number?
No, I didn't count them. I was just trying to pick them up off the damn floor yesterday. They were just scattered everywhere because the bag busted.
Right.
And then, they're hard candy, so they're hitting one another, and they're cling, clang, or just like all over the place. I was like, oh, God, I got to pick these things up. And then I couldn't put them back in the bag because it was busted, so I just went and got some gallon bags, and I actually thought it might take more gallon bags. But, yeah, that's a lot of bleep lips. 3.5 gallon bags worth of bleep lips, so I got bleep lips for a while.
Yeah, you should probably not do the reorder. You should probably modify your order before you
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine if another one of those showed up?
Let us know when you order again. Yeah, let us know when you order again. I want to know how long it takes you to get through this.
Oh, it'll be at least 6 months. I mean, even then, I don't wait until I am done with them and then reorder. I haven't ordered bleep lips in probably 2 years.
You'll get sick of them, dude, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just every once in a while it hits me, and then I'll want to order them. But, yeah, I mean, it'll take me a long time to get through those, because usually I only have, 2 a day. I'll have, a couple at night if I just want to have something sweet, just, pop a couple of those, and then I'll be good to go. I don't sit down and, gorge on them. That's why I said yesterday, if you keep candy in the house or just something that you like in the house that you know is not great for you, and you have the discipline just to have, 1 or 2, then you're fine. But I don't like going starving myself for 2 months and then just going off the deep end and just crushing 50 bleep lips in one setting. My mouth is all messed up. It's
call that
raw,
a binge. We call that a binge.
Yeah. I go on a bleep blip tilt.
Ooh, yeah.
A
bleep bender.
Tilt. Yeah, exactly.
A bleep blip blender. Yeah, bender is what they call it. It's a mouthful. If you are listening to us, you can now be watching us at KNBR.com, the all new KNBR app.
Our
and
condolences too, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not changing the way I dress.
Nobody wants to look at me, so
we would like to see. You
might want to look at my cat though.
Like a petting. So you were like Dr. Evil yesterday, dude. You were sitting there petting the cat, come, Mr. Bigglesworth. You were stroking
I do. That's Kit. So for those people that want to keep track, that's Kit. You cannot see Lou because Lou's laying on my lap right now, and she's not in range of the camera.
Is that a live bark, or was it no? Tim played that.
There you go. Here's Lou. Lou's just chilling, and Pippi's outside somewhere. So Pippi will stop by at some point and say hi. So
I got to tell you, it would be funny to come across Tom out in the wild with his animals, and he's going, Pippi, here, Pippi. He's hearing you like a big 6'8" man walking around yelling. Yeah. There are some things that can move you down a few pegs in public. Where if you're an imposing person, calling your dog's name if it's not hey Rambo. hey, Grinder, get over here. I don't know. So some hardcore name.
Grinder.
I don't know what Grinder would be.
What is it? A sandwich? Italian Grinder?
Well, I'm gonna go Steve. I couldn't think of it. Hey, Buster. You know what I mean? I don't know. Well, we got a lot of Busters now. Yeah, Rex. There you go. Spike. That's a classic. That's a classic dog name. That's like Toy Story. Sid had a dog named Spike, I think.
Yeah.
In Toy Story. Anyway, Casey Schmidt. He was a blast yesterday, man. 4 for 4. Another double, a home run. It's so funny because You don't want to get ahead of yourself, except that the expectations are real for this guy. He was a top a top 100 draft pick or a top 50 draft pick when it's all said and done, because the 2020 draft was a shortened one. They had that sort of truncated. It's where they got Kyle Harrison and they got Casey Schmidt. I think 3.5 seasons, whatever it was, 2020, 21, 22, and now he's in the bigs in May of 2023. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. I want to get excited because we should be excited. This is what we've been waiting for. But also, when you start mentioning names of guys, and we're not really segmenting these stats. We talk about how specific we get and how many qualifiers and filters you need to get specific notes. The note they have on here about he and Willie McCovey, the only two Giants in Giants history to have 8 hits in their first 3 games, that's just a cool note that he's lumped in with him. There's a handful of other guys and guys who were not all-stars or superstars who hit 2 homers in their first 3 games, but nobody but Willie McCovey and Casey Schmidt for the Giants have done this, and he's proving himself. I mean, you watch him play, this is the excitement we've talked about. This is the sort of athleticism, the speed at which he throws the ball. He's got big velocity, a huge arm. He pitched a little bit at San Diego State. He's got a great glove. We haven't even really seen him show off what he can do at third base. He's clearly got tons of power. Exit velocity of 111.6 on that home run. Hits at 443.
That thing was a tank.
It's the third hardest hit ball by a Giant all year.
And it wasn't even a fastball, it was a curveball.
No, dude, he tanked.
I mean, he was generating all the power.
That's unbelievable what he was able to do. So he throws a ball across the diamond at one point. He throws out Kettle Marte. Ball travels 92.7 miles per hour. That's the second fastest ball all year to travel by an infielder to first base. O'Neal Cruz, who's now, I believe, out for the year. He got injured. He threw a 92.8, so 0.10 faster is what it is, right? For like a tenth of a percent faster for a mile per hour faster for O'Neal Cruz. So he's health-wise, active-wise, throwing the fastest pitch of anybody healthy across, or the fastest ball across the diamond of anybody healthy in Major League Baseball. And get this, he ran to first at one point yesterday at 29.5 feet per second. I didn't really know what that meant until you find out that 30 feet per second is elite in Major League Baseball.
Really?
He went 29.5, so he is above average speed, nearly elite speed, and apparently that's something that the Giants had noted, and Alex Pavlovic wrote about in his second exhibition game against the A's. I guess the first one he had sort of a whatever game, but he ran out of ball the first, and they were sort of amazed by his speed. But he's an athlete, man. I mean, that's what's so exciting about watching this is his at-bats are coming. We want to see it. We want to Sorry, we got a cat ass in the camera right now for those of you watching. Just stood right up right there in front of Tom. Good looks. Yeah. So anyway, Cat, Casey Schmidt is a good ball player. He's been fun to watch.
Now, I've been, and it's been, get off the computer. All right, this isn't going well. Just get off the computer. Thank you.
It's only 11 minutes in. We got forever to go.
Usually she goes and lays down. No, I mean, but this is what I was talking about. And you have to produce, and this is going above and beyond. This is like, wow, stuff. He's not going to continue with this, but the fact that he comes up and he's doing this, and he's from the farm system, that's exciting. Like, that's exciting. They're not even a 500 team yet you want to tune in and watch because of this guy. And that's not to say that we wouldn't tune in and watch anyway, but he gives you an extra reason. Like, I want to watch this guy. He's new, young. It's somebody that isn't from somewhere else. It's on like a 1 or 2 year contract. You feel like this is a Giant, and he's going to be a Giant for a while, and it is. And then the stat sheet is read off. It's like, wow, it's exciting, in especially in baseball, because basketball, football, we see these guys. Like, we know if you watch enough college football, like, yeah, okay, I know who that guy is. That's cool. Like when the Niners got Nick Bosa, you're like, that was sweet. We know, you know exactly what you're getting if he's healthy. And then he even exceeded that.
Can't agree more. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Can't agree more.
Yeah. We'll talk more.
I knew what I was going to do. I was going to get some sackaroonies, baby. That's what I was going to do. But this is like, you have no idea. I had no idea what this guy looked like until you saw him for the first. I didn't see him play at San Diego State. Who did? And then he shows up, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you see the batting stance. You see the big arm and the speed and the power. You're like, ooh. It's kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't anticipate this was something where he could come up and not go back down. I thought, well, even Buster Posey went back down. It's just something that happens. You know, guys come up and guys figure him out, or you know, he's not playing great, and then Crawford gets healthy. He's going to force a roster crunch here. David Villar, as Susan Slusser told us earlier this week, could be the one who gets sent back down. We'll talk more about Casey Schmidt and Alex Cobb's great performance last night. Got 12 ground balls, and Casey Schmidt was a big part of it, and has kind of taken to Brandon Crawford as his mentor a little bit. He talked about that, how Crawford gave him a tip mid-game, and it came back to help him later in the game. 949 on the text line says, Casey Schmidt is Superman. We're not quite there. We're not quite there yet. After 3 games. But we're on our way. 3 down, 54 to go, right, to pass Joe D. We'll talk more Casey Schmidt on the other side, and then plenty to get to for the Warriors and what happens with Andrew Wiggins tonight. It's Tolbert and Copes only here on the Sports Leader. Andrew Wiggins is questionable for tonight's game with a rib cartilage fracture. He was at shoot-around this morning, participated in the walkthrough, then got some treatment. He's going to try to go tonight. There's more on that story. It's trending on the all-new KNBR app.
Now, time for the Protect Your Assets with David Hollander Business and Technology Report. This is KNBR, and they are Tolbert and Copes. Listen to us here and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
2-0 pitch. Schmidt hits a high drive down the left field line. This one is gone into the second deck. He just unloaded on that pitch. A towering home run, the second homer of his brand new big league career. And that one was demolished.
Love to see it.
There's Casey Schmidt last night, his second big league home run, 4 for 4, a double and a homer on the day, drove in 3, scored 2. He and Willie McCovey, the only two Giants in their first 3 games to record 8 hits. He is now hitting .667 on the season. He is 8 for 12 on the year. Yeah, we like him. No one likes him more than Farhan likes him, is what I was telling John and Greg. It's kind of like with Jordan Poole. We were talking about the confidence with him the other night. It's probably the same thing tonight, where you wanted to see one go through, and I don't think he'd ever say it, but I think he knew that, well, you want them all to hit. You want all your guys to be successful, but you weren't, I mean, your hand wasn't totally forced here. You just thought he could help you out, which is a good situation to be in. And he is helping you out, both with a spark, I think, in the fan base, a spark within the team for sure. You can tell the guys are enjoying watching him have his first successes. And Alex Cobb said as much last night. It's fun to be around a guy when he's experiencing all that for the first time and having great success in his first week in the big leagues. But Farhan knew, everybody's been asking, where's the prospects? Where's the prospects? We're rebuilding the farm system. This was supposed to be a build. I know it feels like it's been a long time. 2020 to now to me is okay. Now, 2019 would have been his first draft. Cole Waits got here. I don't know which draft he came out of, if he was 2020 or 2019. But Casey Schmidt being the first position player, this has got to be a little bit of a for Farhan. Whether he goes 0 for his next 12 or not, you know what I mean? Like, this was a start that you needed so that people know that's in there.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great for him too. Just to get off to that type of start, you don't got to wait for your first hit. You don't got to wait for your first home run. You don't got to wait for all the firsts. You just knocking them off. Check, 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 and keep on moving on. And as Sean Estes told us yesterday, you get a level of, or a boost of energy when a young guy comes in too. And especially when you're winning and he's playing well, you just get that. Because I think sometimes vets can get jaded. Sometimes you just go about, not that you don't love doing what you're doing, but you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And but when you get a new guy in there, everything's new to him.
Right.
Every stadium's new to him. The pitchers he's facing are new. Just everything. And you can kind of feed off that sometimes, but especially when he's playing like he's playing. The one he hit last night was just incredible. And then the last hit he got, chopped it over the head. It's like perfect. It's like everything's kind of falling right for this kid right now. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's great. We've been asking for this for I don't know how many years now. When's someone coming up? Yeah, when's the next guy? Crawford's like the last one left, other than the pitching staff. We always mention Logan Webb and Camilo Doval as the two guys that came up to the system and are doing well. Everybody else, it's like, okay, they got him, whether it's trade or picked him up off the scrap heap and got it. I mean, it's fine. Everybody loves Lamont Wade Jr. I mean, he's fun to watch, having a hell of a year and great story and all that. But in baseball, they're just something different. And maybe in basketball and football too, maybe in all sports, I think people embrace Well, I mean, there's no doubt they embrace Steph more than they embrace KD, right? And there's you can argue who the greatest player is between the two. When KD was here, he was the guy that won the Finals MVP twice.
And deservedly so.
Steph's the guy that's won the MVP, league MVP twice. I mean, they're both great players. I don't know how you want to rank them one way or the other, but they're both great players, all-time great players. But KD was never going to be embraced like Steph was. Steph's one of ours. He was drafted here. He was here when things weren't this good, and he went through it to get to where they are now. So you can't compete with that unless you're just like way better than somebody else. Then okay, but if it's relatively even, you just can't compete with that. And it's not wrong or right. It just that's how it is. People love when they can say this is our guy. He's always been our guy. Always. So that's just the way it is. So you can embrace guys on the Giants. I mean, they embrace Yaz, and they're going to embrace a lot of players on the team. But you come up to the system, and then you perform well. There's just something a little bit different about that.
You get different juice, for sure. And when you're here for an extended period of time and you make an all-star team and you have that kind of impact, then you sort of curry that favor, again, in a different way. But it takes a staple of time. And a lot of times the big contract guys aren't the ones you ever feel that way about because it's hard to live up to that contract. The fans want to hand that out. Then you get them again. We said it yesterday. People wanted Carlos Rodon back. He hasn't pitched a game this year. Hasn't thrown an inning. Aaron Judge just came back from injury. Carlos Correa's like apologizing. He said the other day he would boo him too. He's like, for the amount of money I'm making, the way I've been playing, I would boo me too. I'm like, well, damn, dude. I dodged a bullet there a little bit. But somebody on the text on here says, I think you guys are letting Farhan off the hook a little bit. I know it's better than nothing, but, being this stoked over one player, it's not that it's one player. It's that, one, it starts an era, and everything you just said is true, Tom, about how fans get invested into guys that are our homegrown guys, because you know that he didn't put on another uniform, even if it was in the minor leagues. But it also, I think, it lets you know that the door has kind of been broken down. That's the first piece that sort of falls, the first thing that comes through here where the floodgates can open up, because we're now getting to a point where it takes a minute to develop guys. Like, I don't know how long Ronald Acuna Jr. was in the minors, but he was a freak. Yeah. And he spent at least a year and a half in the minor leagues. I'll go look at it and see what he did. Buster Posey spent time in the minor leagues. Tim Lincecum shot through it. It was he was kind of toying with guys, and they said there was no point in leaving him down there anymore. But it takes guys a minute to develop, and you don't want guys to come up. I mean, Giants fans remember Matt Williams, where he came up and then couldn't hit a curveball and went back down, and then came up and went back down and came up. I don't know how many times he came up and went down. Might have been 2 or 3 times, but it took him a minute to adjust to how pitchers were going to adjust to him. And so I just tip my cap when a kid comes up, is developed correctly, is playing the game the way that we want a guy to play. We haven't had a player with this type of speed, athleticism, power in some time who was a homegrown guy. So I'm excited about it because it gives you reason to want to watch. And I'm excited about tonight's game because the D-backs are 20-18. Giants are 17-20. You get 3 games left against this team. You're looking to battle to get back into the conversation in the National League West, and maybe this is the kind of guy that does that for you. Buster Posey did it for you in 2010.
And look, make no mistake, I'm just excited to be able to watch him and for him. Yeah. It didn't have anything to do with Farhan. I mean, this is still an under 500 team. Yeah. They had 1 year that was an aberration. He's still got a lot to do to prove he can put this team on the level of the Dodgers and Padres, where they could be consistently good each and every year. We're going into the year, you look at them and go, they're going to be competing for a playoff spot. That's going to be a really good baseball team. I mean, they have a ways to go, and it's only one guy. But from the standpoint that we haven't seen it, it's cool and it's fun just to watch. But no, you're absolutely right. It doesn't solve everything. It doesn't make me forget that right now this is just a okay team. What does he mean to that? This is only 3 games, so I'm not sure what it means. It looks like it'll be trending in a positive direction. How much does that uplift the team? I'm not sure, but yeah. I've said it forever. His success will be largely predicated on the minor league system and how these guys come up perform. This is only one guy.
Sustainable product, right?
Yeah, they got some other guys down there too that we want to see. And are those guys going to be good? And then you sprinkle in, and we've talked about that, the sprinkles. It can't just be that. You got to have the main meal. So no. I mean, these are two different subjects. One is just rookie coming up. We haven't seen it in a while. He's performing great in 3 games, so it's really fun. It's really exciting. And, they still got a lot to prove. Farhan's still got a lot to do. I mean, I still believe that he'll figure it out just because I think he's really smart. I really do. I know a lot of people crack on him for all the analytics. I think he's more than just that. I know he has an analytical bent to him, but I also think he's got like an old school baseball scout.
We talked to him. He's got an element to him where he sees some stuff.
He's not a one-trick pony.
He leans analytic. I'm with you, but
he doesn't just look at the numbers and go, okay, that guy's playing because of that. That guy's doing that. That guy's doing. He's more than that. And I mean, I could be proven wrong. Generally, I'm going to believe in really smart people. I think he's a really smart guy. And while I think the 107-win season was an aberration, they were still really good that year. He put together a tremendous team. This year coming into the season, I said, you know what? One thing they have proven here is they know how to put pitching staffs together. Their pitching staff's pretty damn good. They got some other issues, no doubt about it. A lot of that will be dependent on the minor league system moving forward. And are they a team right now that you look at and say they can compete with the Dodgers and Padres year in and year out? No, they're not. Not yet. And it's been a while now.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I don't think. No.
I know, me neither. I was. No, really.
Oh, you're giving me the sarcasm.
So? Yeah,
face.
really. Yeah.
No.
Xander Bogaerts, no.
But you don't need to. All you need to do is make the playoffs now. They keep opening the damn playoffs up for everybody, and we saw what happened last year, right? I mean, you get Philly, who was a wild card, and they make it to the World Series. So it's one of those type of deals. This isn't basketball, where you're going to be a 7 seed and make it to the finals. Wait a minute. Maybe a 7 and 8 could be there this year. Miami's an 8 seed, although Miami can't make it, can they? They're not going to beat Philly or Boston if they get by. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Jimmy Butler's a maniac, dude. Like I kind of feel about Jimmy Butler the way I am with the Warriors, where like nothing. Like I know it's not the same thing, and I say this somewhat facetiously, but with the way he's played this postseason, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, I think Jimmy Butler could do just about anything. They like lost every. It could be 5-on-1, and he might like have a shot.
He might. You realize we're 2 wins away tonight from a 7 and an 8 being in the conference finals?
Yep.
That's wild to think a 7 and an 8 would be in the conference
My
finals.
God.
I know that. Thank you, Adam. But no, I know what you're saying. That this isn't just, hey, Farhan's got to figure it out, and everything's going fine, and this is the beginning. No, this is just the beginning of Casey Schmidt.
You need them all. Yeah, you need them all.
Yeah, and it's an exciting start. It's only 3 games, but it's fun to watch. It's exciting to watch, but there is no correlation, big picture yet, to the team and Farhan and what this team looks like going forward. So, I mean, what you're saying is fair. It's not. This isn't an indictment one way or the other on how he's done. Still got a lot to prove.
Yeah, he's got his name in the conversation with Hall of Famers in your first 3 games. That's pretty cool. They're back in action tonight against the Diamondbacks. Game 2 of a 4-game series from Arizona before they come on home to take on the Phillies and the Marlins next week. Alex Cobb last night, by the way, into the 8th inning, 7 hits, no earned runs allowed. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's been fantastic. Dropped his ERA to 1.7. Alex Cobb, one of the best pitchers in baseball this season. Giants have the pitching staff. If they can figure things out consistently enough with the bullpen and that offense, they could be a thorn in some team sides in the West. All right. Speaking of thorns in sides, the rib injury that now Andrew Wiggins is dealing with. Yeah, that's actually a real audio of Andrew Wiggins from when he got hurt the other night. They're saying in Game 5, his status up in the air for tonight's game. We'll get you the update on what happened with him at practice earlier today. Also, Anthony Davis looks like he's probable not in the concussion protocol. Where do the Warriors go if Andrew Wiggins is out for tonight? The biggest game of the year, and we're talking injury. It's the NBA playoffs. Tolbert and Copes Friday afternoon. It's a Ska Friday on the Sports Leader.
Basketball. Be caller 10 to 415-896-KNBR for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see your Giants take on the Phillies Tuesday, May 16th. First pitch, 6:45. Presented by Toyota, the MVP of MPG, with class-leading MPG and more hybrids than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Tolbert and Copes. Now continue. Follow us on Twitter at KNBR. This is KNBR 1045 and 68, the sports leader.
We checked in with him, and, he's feeling great. Our medical staff, they gave us a great update, and he's not in the protocol. He's not showing any signs of anything, and he'll be listed as probable tomorrow.
Game 6 tonight, 7 o'clock, Warriors at the Lakers. By the way, Tolbert and Copes and all KNBR shows now streaming video online on YouTube, the KNBR app. You can check it out at KNBR.com. Every show, live video stream now here on KNBR.com. That was Darvin Ham, head coach of the Lakers, talking about Anthony Davis, probable not in the concussion protocol. He had a nice game before he left with the injury. 32 minutes for him into the fourth quarter, 23 points, 9 boards, and 3 assists for Anthony Davis. And then he took an elbow to the face from Kevon Looney. Left the game in the wheelchair, but he says, or they're saying it looks like he's going to go tonight. And we'll talk more about the injuries in depth and what they mean for the rotations and the lineups. But Warriors exercise some of those road demons from the regular season. Like it's almost, I don't want to say it's a distant memory because it lasted for so long, the road woes for the Dubs. But they got some at the end of the year, although against some depleted teams, some injured teams that weren't at full strength. Some teams that were out of it that didn't really care about who they were playing. They got some big wins last series on the road. They need one tonight. I don't know if your mind is entirely just on the injuries or the health of the roster, or if you can look past that as a player. What are the players thinking about now? I know they can't stop and think about Andrew Wiggins. They've got to prepare for the game as the game's ahead, but certainly the game is it'll unfold completely differently if Andrew Wiggins isn't out there.
You never worry about another player's injury when you're playing. You got too much to worry about yourself. Whether it's your assignment, what your responsibilities are, everybody feels confident that they can go win the game without Wiggins. Just like I'm sure the Lakers do without Davis. I'm sure if you ask them to a man, can you win without Davis? They'll go, yeah, we can win without Davis. Now, we know it's harder, much harder to win a game without Anthony Davis, and it'll be harder to win the game without Wiggins or a limited Wiggins. But that's just not how players think. Players don't think that way. Players feel like they can go out there and win, and they're worried about their responsibilities. Who you guarding? How do I guard him? What are we doing in these situations? Like, you just have too much stuff to worry about. I would not worry about, to focus on. Rather than focusing on somebody else's injury. So that's not going to affect them the way they play. It will affect both teams, however. We most certainly know that. So if Wiggins can't play or is limited, then you'll probably get Clay guarding LeBron. Like, that'll probably be, that seems to me to be the logical way to go. Clay's capable of doing it. But he's not Wiggins. He's not as big as Wiggins. Not quite as long as Wiggins. Probably not as athletic as Wiggins. So it'd be a task for him, like it's a task for anybody. But at least you have someone like that can give you a reasonable shot at stopping LeBron. But I mean, make no mistake, if they lose him, it's not just the offense that they got last game, because you never know when you're going to get that aggressive Wiggins. It's always great to get him as much as you can. If you got him tonight, that'd be beautiful. But it's the defense. It's the defense of matching up against LeBron, making life tough for him, and you just wonder how much the rib will hurt. How much it will affect his shooting, how much it's going to affect him when LeBron bumps into him. I have no idea. I know Looney had the same thing. I think it was last year, and missed one game and then wore like a flak jacket the rest of the way. Probably a little bit easier for a big guy who doesn't shoot much.
He spoke about that today. He did have to practice.
To wear a flak jacket than a guy that plays on the perimeter.
Yeah, he said he didn't shoot, so it was a little bit easier, and his was a little bit higher, I think is what he said. Like, Wiggins was a little bit of a different situation, but just placement-wise. But, again, different positions. He's also banging. I remember some of the shots he was taking.
Yes.
He was wearing that flak jacket. I was like, was that against Toronto?
I thought it was Memphis.
Maybe it was Memphis.
Be right.
I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember exactly who it was against.
Physical with an F.
That's kind of where, for me, like, the legend of this version of Looney was born. Where I was like, this is just the toughest SOB there is. Like, he was broken ribs out there, the cartilage between the rib cage, and he knew they needed him, and he was playing big minutes and like, not really limited. Like, he was banging and putting his body on the line. And I think that was the year we thought they were going to lose him. I think that was the offseason. We thought, he may walk away. Just they weren't going to be able to bring him back. And here he is, all reliable, Kevon Looney. Is this a game where you think, sort of Wiggins be damned? I don't know that you ever rely on him to have super efficient shooting nights. Last game was his third highest scoring playoff game of his career, 25 points, and was on 10 of 18 shooting, 7 boards, 5 assists. But as you said, the defense is what you rely on him for. Is this a night where you look at Steph and Clay and you go, they've got to be efficient? It's not just that they've got to score. The efficiency for them has to be there in a game like this?
Well, yeah. If not, there's got to be somebody that can then pitch in. The problem is Clay hasn't shot well, and Steph doesn't shoot well in that building. Now, it doesn't mean he won't. It's just, I'm telling you what he's done before. What he's done before, percentage-wise, that's his worst building in the NBA. He just has not shot the ball well there. Maybe this is one of the nights where he does shoot the ball well. They need at least one of those guys, most certainly. Both of them would be beautiful. And then someone else got to pitch in. Gee, not a lot, just a little bit, 10, 12 points on, 5, 6 shots, something like that, where you're making 60% of your shots. Maybe get a couple free throws. I can't count on Draymond to give him another 20, because Draymond doesn't do that very often.
Sometimes he's done that all year. He hadn't scored 20 in a game all season.
No, I think he did it once in the playoffs.
In the playoffs he had,
I think he's done it twice.
Regular season he went 19.
But regular season, didn't do it at all. So how can you expect that? A lot will be dependent on his first shot. If he hits his first shot, then he's more likely to become aggressive than if he were to miss his first shot. Maybe more his first two. Then he'll be getting to playmaker mode and try to get the ball to Clay and Steph. But, Yeah, I mean, like nobody predicted Wiggins was going to get super aggressive. Nobody could predict Draymond to get 20. Again, something will happen tonight that we didn't expect to happen tonight. I mean, maybe Poole goes for 20. We know he's capable. We just haven't seen it very often this postseason. He just has not been in a good spot this postseason. It's like last game. Right, last game his first shot was a one dribble, right wing, one dribble, pogoed into it, boop, pogo, straight up, straight down, jump shot, bucket. And then he had another one like that a little later on in the quarter, bucket. And then he followed that with a 24-foot leaner off a pick. It's like, just try to make it easy on yourself. Again, we know you can make those shots. It's not about can you make those shots. It's about how often can you make those shots. What kind of return are you getting on those shots? How many points per shot are you creating off those shots? Like, that was not a good shot. And that's one you might want to take if you've hit like 3 or 4 in a row, not one in a row. So if he could just stick with that first shot where it's like, you know what, under control, up, down, straight up, straight down. I always say if you can jump up and come down in a circle of which you took off from, that's good. If you're drifting, leaning, all that stuff, then it gets a little goofy, especially when you're not shooting the ball well. But we've seen him do it. So there's a possibility he could go out there and get something done. Moody, he's hit some nice shots. Like, he's not afraid.
He's played big minutes this series.
Yeah. He's just not super aggressive. And look, I get why. He's just like, let me just go out here and do what I do and try to contribute defensively.
Like you said, he simplified things.
Hit the glass. Yeah, exactly. So he's not going to get too crazy. Peyton will score a lot of his stuff, fast break, dunker position, stuff like that. But guys that can, get in there and generate some offense, we know the big two. And if Wiggins isn't there or is limited, yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. Poole could do it. Dre's done it before. Maybe he just says, screw it. They need me. They need me to be more aggressive, and I got to try to get in there and maybe find some spots where I can have some open jump shots to shoot. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, the Lakers haven't lost in the playoffs at home this year. I think what is that 5-0? I believe it is 2 against
2 here and
2 against the worst, 3
Lakers.
against Memphis. Yeah, so they played really well at home, and they've been really good at home since the trade. So it's I mean, they're gonna have their hands full. There's no doubt about it. And losing if Wiggins, like I said, if he's limited or can't play, Clay could pick up some of that slack. Some of the problem with that is you need Clay on offense. And that's just tough double duty. Guard LeBron on one end and then run all over the place and try to give us 25 points on this end. I mean, if anybody could do it, he could do it, because I've always called him the Labrador. He just, like, you can throw the ball 1,000 times and your arm's going to run out before the Labrador runs out. So he just goes. He's always in great shape, always goes, but that's a big ask. It's because guarding LeBron's physical with an F.
And you're on the perimeter a bunch. He's bringing the ball up every time.
He's pounding you.
He's in the second half. It's going to be.
Yeah, just the body weight. I mean, it's like 260, 265.
Nobody knows, really. He never really says, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of effort.
75 maybe?
Yeah, it could be. He is put together. And then you got to go do it on the offensive end. And you know how he plays on offense. It's movement. Like, that's what him and Steph are kind of predicated on, the movement. So, you're moving all over the place on offense, and you come down, and LeBron's banging. You're trying to stay in front of him. So, who knows? Maybe they could Draymond could probably guard him a little bit. Problem is, if Draymond's guarding him, who's guarding Anthony Davis? Not a great matchup for.
You've got me.
Looney.
Who's got you? We're going.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going Margot Kidder, Superman 1. You've got me. Who's got you? That's what's going to happen tonight with LeBron if Wiggins is out. You've got LeBron. What the hell's going on over here? We'll get more into this, like where the rotation's going, what does happen. If Andrew Wiggins can't go tonight, they do say he's going to go out there. He's going to go through his pregame routine, and then they'll make the decision on whether or not he's going to try to go. I'd imagine he's going to do everything in his power to be out there. Like, hey,
sure.
just the body there would help the Warriors. And as you said, they're not looking to him for offense. I think you look to other guys for that, but you need him out there. You'd love him to be out there to guard LeBron. If he is unable to go, is there a break glass situation where you need a guy like Kuminga to play some minutes? Do you go more to Kevon Looney? Is it on JaMychal Green, or is it Clay who's on LeBron James. We'll talk about all that on the other side. I imagine he'll try to go, but it is going to be a tall order after he missed the shoot-around today and just participated in the walkthrough. Game 6 tonight on the Sports Leader. The mighty Casey strikes again. 4 for 4 last night was Casey Schmidt with 3 RBIs, a double, and another home run in a Giants 6-2 win over the Diamondbacks. More on that story is trending on the all-new KNBR app.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Another Laker turnover. Green taking on Davis. Davis lets him go. And Wiggins with a follow break. Wiggins got Walker on his back. Wiggins turns and scores. And one. Andrew Wiggins. A chance at a three-point play.
Andrew Wiggins highlights from the last game where he goes 10 of 8 in Game 5, 25 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. That was his best game in the postseason. One of the best games he's played all season long. Certainly the best he's played since returning for the playoffs after missing really the entire back half of the season, or the back portion of the season, leaving right before the All-Star game. But he is dealing with a coastal cartilage fracture, which is something that Kevon Looney had. A little bit of a different situation as Wiggins is a shooter. They didn't ask Kevon Looney to do that, and it's in a little bit of a different place. Game 6 tonight at 7 o'clock. In terms of well, I'll give you the update here on Davis, too, because somebody on the text line 925 says, what's AD's status? They say he's probable. He is trending towards playing. Darvin Ham, we played a soundbite from him a little bit ago saying he's not in the concussion protocol and should be good to go for tonight. So Wiggins is going to give it a go after he was in the walkthrough today at the shoot-around. Did not participate in the rest of the individual shooting. Girls went and got treatment, which I think everybody is happy about. But, Kevon, this is something you can play through. I don't believe this is a can be injured further thing. It's a pain tolerance thing, right, Tom?
I do not know. I don't know. Is what he has different than a inland cartilage fracture?
Stand by.
Because it is a coastal. So I don't know if it's. I don't know if you could shoot it up. I have no idea. I've never injured a rib before, so I don't know what it would feel like. I would imagine breathing is probably a little bit difficult. Laughing, sneezing, that probably wouldn't be good. All those things. So I don't know. I just don't. I don't know how.
I'd like him to breathe. That's kind of key.
Breathing would be good. Breathing, yeah, it's gonna be hard to play without.
I can't
breathing.
even imagine, man. The rib,
but
fracture?
Like shooting. Like, it depends. I don't know if is it right. Is it his right side where he's raising up, and you take your shot and it stretches this part. But I mean, you're going for a rebound, you're getting banged, you're getting a rib to it, or you're getting an elbow to your rib. Oh man, that doesn't sound fun. Let's put it that way. So you're gonna probably see him wince quite a bit. I didn't even see it when I heard the news. I was like, did I miss something? What happened?
Well, Anthony Slater had to go isolate the video because he had to find the video. I guess it was maybe 5 minutes left in the game or something like that. And he catches a shot, and you see him kind of have some discomfort there. The game was in hand, I guess, by that point, right? For the most part, they had to put it away still in the final 5 minutes and make sure they held on. I guess nothing's in hand when the Warriors.
Yeah, it was close. I mean, Darvin Ham called up the Dogs with about 2:40 left,
right,
so it was like close to being there. But I didn't even notice. I didn't even pay attention. When I heard the news, I was like, what? Did I miss something? Was I not looking? And apparently it wasn't easy to spot, and it started hurting him more after the game ended. So, don't know. It is the NBA playoffs, so people have to be hurt. You can't have a completely healthy team in the NBA playoffs.
Unless you load manage throughout the regular
season.
Must
be hurt. Nothing.
Then you're totally healthy.
Nothing helps.
Well, let me ask you this about Wiggins. If he doesn't go, that's a worst case scenario. If he goes out there or he starts the game and then can't go anymore, you know what I mean? That's a possibility also where he begins the game and then it's like, this is not comfortable and I'm not going to be able to give you what you need. In the regular season, you would see Steve do things like, let's see who can spell us for a couple of minutes here. A guy like Jonathan Kuminga. We've been asking about him and wondering about him all series long. I trust Steve Kerr. You know what I mean? If he's not playing, there's a reason he's not playing. They're in Game 6 here. They won Game 5 at home. They're one game away from a winner-take-all game and back into the conference final. So they've called things the right way. I think it's tough to debate at this point. But if it's about just trying to give a guy a blow for a minute and you're not getting the minutes from Wiggins that you thought you were going to get, is it too risky to tab him for a few minutes here? Because correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he's been on LeBron in the past. Now, it's not playoff LeBron. I can't remember scenarios or situations precisely, but I feel like he's had stints where he's guarded LeBron and been okay.
Boy, I can't.
If you can't pinpoint
remember.
it, then it's okay not to speak to it. But
I'm gonna.
That's
you know
my
what I want
recollection.
to do?
Anyway,
Though,
KNBR on the text line if you can.
I do want to look as we are just chatting here. Let's see if I can get Kuminga game log and see if I can find what he did against the Lakers this year, because it obviously hadn't been much. 13 minutes is the most he has played in the playoffs. 9-3, 13-2, 3-2, 9-9-2. So he's been out of the rotation, so I don't think...
Some of those are garbage minutes, too. Like last game, he came in at the end of the game, he knocked down a 3.
Yeah, I don't know that
why you
Steve's going
shot
to think
that, by the
about
way.
playing him. He would probably be last resort, February 23rd at Lakers, and that was, I want to say, it's before their big trade. It could have been after, I'm not sure. 24 minutes, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 for 12.
It was right after. I think the
5 from
trade was
3.
the 22nd, I want to say. It could have been
Was
that
it?
day. It could have been right then, yeah.
Okay. So not bad. February 11th, only 13 minutes, 5 points, 3
So maybe
3
not this year is what I'm thinking then.
But I mean, they played him a few more times too. I don't want to go back too far because that's not even the Laker team they're facing. March 5th, 5 points, 6 rebounds, and only 13 minutes. Yeah, so it wasn't like this year he was playing. He played a lot against the Lakers. I think that would probably be last resort. Just because he hasn't played this postseason, not just against the Lakers, but really didn't play against the Kings either. And he just, again, he's not doing what Moody's doing. Like Moody goes in there and Moody hits a 3 if he's open, shoots a 3 if he's open, busts his ass on defense, runs the court, hits the offensive glass as best he can, and knows where he's supposed to be offensively and defensively. Like that's what he wants out of guys like that. They have enough guys that will go off script and do some stuff that you're going to go, wow, what was that? Steph does it, but Steph's an all-time great, and you allow him that freedom. Clay does it. Clay's a Hall of Famer. So there are some shots you look at and go, oof, but it's Clay. So, I mean, you live with it. Jordan even does it, where you're like, oh, man, that's a rough one. You don't need more guys out there that you don't know what they're going to do. Like, if you have those guys, you need guys that you know what they're going to give you. Like, exactly what they're going to give you. I know what he's going to do out there. All right, I have enough guys I don't know what they're going to do out there. I want guys that's why he loves Gary Payton so much. He has an elite skill defender. And then other than that, he just runs the court. He's a pain in the ass on defense. And he goes into the corner. And then sometimes the dunker's position. Doesn't try to do too much. Doesn't try to get too fancy. Just says, you know what? I'm gonna bust my butt on defense. I'm gonna make life a living hell for who I'm guarding. And then I'm just gonna keep things really simple on offense. Just super simple. Not try to do too much. If I'm open and shot clock is getting toward the nub, then I'll let it fly. If not, even if I'm open sometimes, I'll dribble handoff. Maybe try to get the ball to Steph or try to get the ball to Clay. That's it. Just simplify stuff. So I don't know that he completely trusts that Kuminga can do the simple things, because he could be a monster if he just defended, ran the court, and rebound. That's it. There's no reason that guy shouldn't get a rebound every 3-4 minutes, at least every 4 minutes. I mean, that guy is an athletic freak. I've said that about Wiggins before. Like, he should get more rebounds, but I don't even think Wiggins is quite the athlete Kuminga is. And Wiggins is an incredible athlete, but Kuminga is, I think, the best athlete on the team. Like, he does stuff, you're just like, wow. Like, it's jaw-dropping, but it's the ups and the downs and the inconsistencies. And not all his fault. I mean, he's 20, so he's still got a lot of learning to do. But you don't want guys learning on the job Game 6, second round of the playoffs. So would it shock me? No, because Steve that does some stuff. Maybe the game starts going the wrong way a little bit, and it's like, hey, let's try this. Let's see how it's working. But I would say he'll probably have some other options lined up before he gets to that one. But with him, who knows? Steve has been known to surprise me on occasion.
But you'd anticipate it's going to be a takes a village type of game, whether Wiggins is there or not.
Yes. Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't think you're going to get a 50 piece from Steph.
I don't think so.
because they're a better defensive team
They're a longer
than
team.
the Kings.
Yeah.
This is a tougher building for him than Golden One. So, I mean, I never put it past Steph. He can do that. You'd say, well, it's Steph. But that's a big ask. I think even 40 is a big.
He doesn't shoot well
ask.
in this building, and they're 0-6 this year in this building. Now Steve Kerr 8-2, best winning percentage ever in elimination games. That's the There's a lot of counters on both sides for history here.
I would take give me 32 on 22 shots, 32 on 23 shots. Doesn't have to be a monster number, just a nice number. At a reasonable price, as they say, a good efficiency, and then Clay is going to have to pitch in a little bit. Although I will say this about Clay: last game he was 1 for 7 in the first quarter, and then 2 for 5 the rest of the game. So he never really got it going, but he backed off a little bit. He didn't go out there and try to jack it every time he touched the ball. He realized, you know what, let's go ahead and throttle it down a little bit. And if I have it, I have it. If not, I'm not going to force it. And I'm going to play defense and try to hit the glass and help in other ways. And while they do need him, especially if Wiggins is limited, I like that Clay, where he's looking for shots, but he's not forcing them. Like, he's looking. Clay's always going to look for shots. That's who Clay is. But not, you know what, I'm going to shoot this. Sometimes Clay knows he's going to shoot it before he touches it. He just knows. It's in his head. He can see the ball coming, and he's already thinking of how he's going to get the shot.
Getting ready
off.
to turn this way.
Yeah.
Right now.
Instead of, as soon as I catch it, I'm ready to shoot it. But if it's not there, okay, and then move it along, or maybe take a dribble left, something like that. But there are times like the one in LA was a perfect example, the one right in front of Steve, where as that ball was in the air, he knew he was letting that ball go. And it was a terrible shot. And I know he can hit those shots. I understand that. But still, Lonnie Walker's right there defending. You're like fading to the left. You're like 25 feet away from the bucket. I mean, it's like that one's that's about as tough as they get right there. He didn't do that after the first quarter last game. And he's going to have to be looking for shots Yeah. Are you going to go for a walk? Okay. My lovely wife's going for a walk, by the way. She's like looking. She doesn't realize we're on TV. She's like, oh, my gosh. Did you just do that? Yes. You can say hi to everybody.
The camera's not facing her. She's going to
there
pop
you
on.
go.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Lori.
There she is. She's on
Good
TV.
to see you, Lori.
She's going for a walk.
Look at that. Enjoy your walk.
There you go.
There she is. Yeah, rock out. Okay, horns. There you go. Okay.
She came in. She's like, what?
Yeah, she's like, what? Wiggins is questionable? Yeah. You mean she's not listening? Yeah.
You guys are doing what? But it can't just be buying into the Game 6 Clay, right? Because everybody keeps saying that. Game 6 Clay came, and they remember the game in Oklahoma City?
41
the game
points,
in Oklahoma
yeah.
City. You know how many years ago that was?
2016.
Yeah. That wasn't last year. It wasn't 2 years ago. It was 7 years ago.
Now, does 2018 35 points against the Rockets do anything for you?
It's closer.
How about 2019?
You're getting closer.
At the Rockets, 27. Can I offer you a 2022 Game 6 against the Grizzlies where he went for 30?
You can't offer me that one.
That's the Clay I'm looking for tonight. That's the guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for Clay to get out of his funk in L.A. at the arena he grew up going to and help the Warriors get back home for a Game 7. Then you feel damn good about where they are. I've got cautious optimism about tonight. I almost feel better about them winning this game because they haven't won a game in that building all year. You know what I mean? Almost like out of spite, they'll do it.
Let me ask you this, because I've been kind of bouncing this back and forth in my head today. Do you think Clay wants it too much? Like the whole Game 6 Clay, he's heard that over and over and over again, but it's L.A. We've all read how much he idolized Kobe and how much he loved Kobe, and obviously his dad was a Laker and he won championships with the Lakers, and that's the team he grew up watching. I'm just wondering, like, if there's a part of him that wants it too much instead of just going out there and playing and letting it happen, because we all know how good this guy is, and shots are going to come and go, and he's one of the best ever at doing it. I don't want him to feel like if he's missing shots, he can't be valuable to the team, because he can be valuable to the team.
He's valuable just being there.
Sometimes, exactly. He stretches the court in similar ways that Steph does. But there's sometimes I feel like he wraps his whole self-worth into making shots.
Yep.
And you can kind of see it sometimes when he's missing shots that he thinks he should make. The shoulders kind of slump a little bit, and he's like kind of shaking his head instead of just saying, screw it, whatever, I'm going to get back and lock someone up on defense. But I just feel like, I just hope he doesn't go into the game thinking, God, I got to do it tonight. I have to do it tonight. Like, just wants it so bad that it doesn't happen, because I know how important this game would be to him. I know how much he knows. He talks about Game 6, Clay, but I've also heard him after a lot of games this year saying, look, I know, but I believe in this team, and I believe, like, almost convincing himself that, like, hey, we're going to be back and we're better. And
you mean after he was holding the 4 in Devin Booker's face? Yeah, like,
it lasted all season
kind of stuff.
long. Yeah, a lot of that
the double
stuff.
T where he got.
They never did that before. They didn't have to. They were good. They didn't have to convince anybody they were good. Everybody knew they were really good, and it's almost like they're trying to, like, convince people like we're still that team. And look, we know they're not that team. They're just not that team anymore. They're still a championship team. They won last year. Yep. Could they win this year? Of course they could win this year. I do believe they could win this year. It's going to be hard, but I still, believe, because I've seen this team before. I believe they can win tonight and win Game 7. And I believe that Denver's going to be, if they get there, Denver's going to be a bitch. That team is really, really good.
Yeah.
But I do believe they can get them too. I just do. But it's like they're trying to convince everybody they can do it too, where they never had to convince anybody. This went out there and smashed people. So, I just hope he goes out and plays tonight. And, whatever happens, just take good shots, especially the first quarter. Try to get yourself on a roll. We know when Clay gets on a roll, then he can start taking some of those tough shots and hitting those tough shots. But, I'm excited, although I don't know if I could watch the game with my daughter. My daughter is just going to be.
Is she stressed out? Like, how does your house react to that? Like, because you're oftentimes not there.
My daughter freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter. And the boys are kind of like me. They'll curse at the TV sometimes. And
what are you doing? One of those.
What the bleep are you doing?
We have audio of your daughter watching the game. She is, yeah. That was her when Jordan Poole turned it over. Now, we're hoping Clay goes off. The Laker fans are actually, there's a specific Laker fan, we played this sound last week. They're worried about Klay Thompson as well. Here's Snoop Dogg.
Definitely big play Clay, because he's a Laker. And what I mean by that is that he's a born Laker. He's a Laker fan. His daddy, Michael Thompson, did his thing with us, and I'm pretty sure Clay is a diehard Laker fan in his heart. He just didn't get to choose who he could play for. So when you got that kind of inspiration, you tend to want to play a little bit harder.
Thanks, Snoop.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Is that how it goes, Snoop? Yeah. Okay.
Jordan Poole, keep shooting. I like the way you've been missing, brother.
You're killing Jordan Poole.
Then he took a shot at Jordan on the way out. That's tough.
God dang. That's
tough
rough
for Jordan Poole. But yeah.
I think it's going to be, I think it'll be down to the wire. I do. I saw the line has switched a little bit. Lakers minus, I think, 3.5 now.
Okay.
And that might be Wiggins related, because it was 1.5, and maybe it switched. Although I'm not sure if Wiggins is worth 2 points, but maybe people thought that they were taking the Lakers at 1.5 anyway, and then I don't know. Maybe the 1.5 was because Anthony Davis was questionable. They didn't know his status, so. This has been the same line pretty much for the last 2 games down in LA, 2.5 to 3.5, right around there.
And it's like 6 or 7 when they come on back here.
Yeah, exactly. So what they're telling you is they think the Warriors are better. They'd be favored on a neutral by a couple points, maybe 3. But down there, they've had trouble down there, and the Lakers have played really well down there. So. I don't know. Yeah, if it gets down, it's like a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. I might have to go into the room myself and watch it, because my daughter is just going to be. I don't even know if she can handle it. She gets so stressed. She gets like so. I mean, she's just a mess. It's like I get to like experience what it's like for a lot of other like sports fans that are totally, because I'm not that way. I've never really been that way. Not since I've
since you were a pro athlete, since you played, and then you've been around it. It's different.
When I was younger, the Angels used to do that to me.
Since you laced them up, Tom. That's what we say in the biz.
I appreciate that. But just how people watch their teams they love, and you just like you see them like watching. You got their hands over their eyes, or like, oh, I can't. Oh,
it's always like World Series. It's baseball playoffs is what comes to mind when I think of that. It's like the Red Sox fans who are sitting there. They look like they're going to cry no matter what. Like even the good stuff is agonizing to watch. It's
hard. I mean, it's hard. I got myself out of this habit, thank goodness, because it's a bad habit. But I used to watch games in crucial moments. I'd watch them in slow motion. The play would pick a quarterback drop
just
back.
A slow
and
burn, right?
Oh, yeah. I used to do it during the Super Bowl when I had a party. People were like, come on, get the game going.
I'll be pissed. I'm at your house and you're no, this is a good play, I think. We'll watch this one in slow-mo.
It was a Giants-Patriots game.
Dude, what?
And
Watching
I was
David
like,
Tyree off
he's
the
wide
face?
open over the middle. Look at him. Somebody, throw it to him.
Tom pauses it. He's pointing at the screen. Look at the ball. Look at it.
Oh, God.
Tight spiral.
It was a brutal way to watch. I'd do it for like maybe 4 or 5 plays, like third down plays.
Yeah.
I'd do it for, I'd go possession play. Let's go slow-mo.
As Tom said, the Nuggets in the next round, they'll be a real B if the Warriors get through. And if the Lakers get through, it's going to be tough for them as well. They knock out Kevin Durant 125-100, the final in that game yesterday. We got 2 Game 6s tonight, a Game 6 tomorrow, still a chance for 2 Game 7s on Sunday if the Warriors win tonight. And what's the other one? You're looking for the Knicks to win tonight, right? They're getting 6.5.
Correct.
In Miami as Jimmy Butler is looking to close it out. For the second year in a row, the Phoenix Suns are blown out at home to be eliminated this time in the second round of the playoffs. We'll tell you about it next. It's Tolbert and Copes only here on the Sports Leader. The 49ers' full schedule was released for the 2023 season, including games on Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. More on that story, and you can check out the full schedule trending now on the all-new KNBR app.
Dunk Nation, wherever you are around the globe, stream Gold-Blooded Radio 24/7, 365 on KNBR.com. This is the sports leader.
The Phoenix Suns season is over. The Denver Nuggets are moving on to the conference finals for the second time in 4 years. They'll get a little time off before facing either the Lakers or the Warriors. What a performance by Michael Malone's team tonight, led by the two-time MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Tell me a little something, KD. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Why? Because they survived like by maybe one more day, potentially the Knicks, and the Heat will play their Game 6 tonight. I misspoke about this weekend. We get 2 Game 6s tonight. Got a Game 7 already forced for Sunday after Boston picks one up yesterday. So we get a Game 7 there, and then we also get the a potential of 2 more Game 7s, which would be cool. But the Nuggets are just kind of laying out, and this is the situation we talked about where if you're the Lakers or the Warriors, you wanted that to go 7 games. Because if the Warriors are to come out of this one, I mean, if the Lakers come out, they probably feel okay. It's a day later. If the Warriors come out of this one, or they win this game tonight, they've forced a Game 7. Whoever comes out is going to be on shorter rest than Denver, and you got to go to Denver to play in the altitude. Nice win last night. Nikola Jokic is out of his mind, man. I mean, I don't know if he's recency bias is so tough. You know what I mean? Like to me, I think I'm pretty confident in saying the best center I've ever seen was Shaq.
Yeah.
He was certainly the most dominant player I think I ever saw, where you gave him the ball, he could pretty much do whatever he wanted. He could throw his elbow, he could throw his ass at you, he could just sort of bend over and pop you and then turn around and throw it down your throat. Nikola Jokic, though, is like, if it's not him as number one, he's like 1A. Like, he's right behind Shaq. Not in terms of the same type of player, obviously, but in terms of what he does as a big man is just, it's mesmerizing to watch game after game after game. His ability to score, his ability to distribute. His last 5 games, I have the numbers for you here. His last 5 games have been unbelievable this postseason. 39, 16, and 5, 30, 17, and 17, 53, 4, and 11, 29, 13, and 12, 32, 10, and 12, and his lowest shooting percentage of all those games was the 39, 16, and 5 game where he went 56% from the field. He had the 53-point game where he shot 66%.
69.
No, that is a single 9 in this whole thing. No, one 9 and then 29. 32 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. He shot 72% from the field. I mean, it's
a joke.
It's a joke. It's incredible. It's incredible what Devin Booker and KD were doing opposite him. But what he was doing for that team, I mean, 53 and 11 assists. He had 39, 16, 17 boards, 17. I mean, this guy, he's. You've been asking all week, like, the argument about the MVP versus does he have to win a championship for him to get the credit he deserves? I don't need to see anything else from this guy. I mean, could you imagine if we were like, yeah, Barry Bonds was the best hitter we ever saw, but he didn't get that ring.
So he couldn't be the best hitter.
Like, it's not Nikola Jokic's fault the Denver Nuggets ain't winning championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if he was, I mean, he's as good of a player as we've seen in the last 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah. I mean, his hands. He might have the best hands of any center of all time. His hands are like butter. It is like, I don't know how he does it. Because I was thinking a couple games ago watching him, like, how many times the first time you saw Jokic play, how many of his shots would you be going, hell no, hell no? And all of them were going, bottom, bottom, bottom.
He's got that touch.
And then you're like, oh, damn, this guy's good. This guy makes just about everything. Even if it didn't look like it's going in when he's about to release it, this guy just makes it. And then he makes the right plays, and he's a rebounder. I mean, he's incredible. He's one of the greatest centers I've ever seen. And he's different from a lot of them. Like, he's not Shaq. Shaq was just a dominant force, the most dominant force the NBA has ever seen. He was just massive, athletic, fast. I mean, I played with the man. It was ridiculous. We're talking about some big dudes in the NBA at the time, too.
He's 2 body types dominant, too. The young athletic Shaq and then the heavy just throw it down your throat Shaq.
They couldn't handle. Nobody could handle him. He was just too big. But the game's so different back then. I mean, you evolve with the game. What Jokic does now wouldn't be as valued back in the early 2000s. And what Shaq did then wouldn't be as valued now. It'd still be dominant, but now you got to get out and guard pick and rolls. You got to be able to guard like big guys that can shoot, and
run the floor.
That became tougher for him. But back then, you didn't have as many guys that could do stuff like that. And then back then, you didn't have as many shooters. 3-point line wasn't as big a deal. So in 2000, maybe Jokic doesn't even become that player because it's not valued at that time. You don't usually work on stuff that's like not valued. Like who works on post-up games anymore? Because nobody wants a post-up center. Like I wouldn't work on it. They're not going to utilize it.
How long did Pat Ewing work with Dwight Howard? Remember that was the thing for like a decade. It seemed like Pat Ewing was working with Dwight Howard.
Yeah, they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And Jokic isn't a post-up guy per se, but he can. But he's like an elbow guy, mid-post guy. Now he's awesome, and KCP was great last night in the first half. Murray kind of took over in the second half. They have a team that can win a championship. Hence the number 1 seed. You have one of the top players in the league. Murray's kind of back into form now. Porter Jr. is always that X factor because he can get red hot and get you 24 on like 10 shots. That type of hot. Also, he can kind of get quiet on you a little bit, too, and he's not the greatest defensive player. But what they have now is they have Aaron Gordon kind of back where he can really thrive in a third or fourth role, not where he was last year, and kind of a second, kind of a co-star role where I don't know that that's him. And then you have Brown, you have KCP. So you have some vets now on the team that know how to play. It's a really good team. As far as Phoenix, they just couldn't do it. It was almost impossible to ask Durant and Booker to do it over and over and over again. And we found out what happens when they both can't do it in the same game. That's what happens.
OKC happens.
You get obliterated, and that was just ugly last night. Gave up 81 in the first. So they got to figure things out there. They got to figure out, okay, now where do we go from here? Do we think about trading Paul? Do we think about trading Ayton? Do we try to retool the roster? Because when you have two guys like that, people expect you to win, but it's not that easy if you don't have the supporting cast. Because that's what the Warriors always had. They always had two of the best players to play, and then you had another guy who was one of the best players in a different way. And then when you added KD, it was just a joke. They were so much better than everybody else. But then even in that, you had Andre, coming off the bench. Early years, you had Sean Livingston coming off the bench. So they always had veterans playing and that knew what to do. So it was a complete team. Phoenix got to figure out how to complete their team. They got superstars now. Although Buddy texted me last night, he goes, "You think KD is going to want to get traded after tonight?"
Yes. Yeah.
Matter
of time.
What if
KD?
What if he tried to get traded to OKC and OKC went, "Nah, we're good."
Nah, dude, we don't want you. Well, what if he demands a guy? Monty Williams gets fired. He's like, yeah, if Monty gets fired and whoever the GM is there, and if Ishbia sells the team too, then I'll stay.
Give me the team.
If you give me the team, I'll stay in Phoenix.
And just think, he had it all.
Come on, man. You were here. You'd be going for like 6 straight titles or something right now.
Had it all.
You'd be going for yet another one. Right now, you'd be playing for another championship.
Yep, absolutely.
They wouldn't even be playing tonight. They'd be off. They would have swept through this series.
Yeah, they'd be off.
They'd be sitting on their ass waiting to find out who they were going to play in the next round because it wouldn't be Phoenix. It'd be a totally different scenario. So we'll see what happens tonight. But the Suns are out, and the winner of the Warriors and Lakers series has a date with Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets starting next week out in Denver. On the other side, we will talk to Mike Trudell, covers the Lakers, beat reporter for sports. Was it Spectrum Sports down in Los Angeles? Covers the team. We'll get his thoughts and what he's hearing on Anthony Davis's health for tonight, what he saw from Andrew Wiggins today at the Warriors walkthrough. We'll talk about all that with Mike Trudell, covers the Lakers for Spectrum Sports down in L.A. It's Tolbert and Cobes. We are streaming live, KNBR.com, the all-new KNBR app, and on YouTube. You can check it out, KNBR 104.5 and 680. It's the sports leader.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we'd love to only be thinking about the game itself tonight, but injuries all over the place. Andrew Wiggins, Warrior fans worried about. Anthony Davis looks like he's going to play. We're going to catch up with Mike Trudell here, courtesy of the UMA guest line. He covers the Lakers for Spectrum Sports down in Los Angeles, also the sideline reporter for the broadcast for the Lakers. What's going on, Mike? Adam Copeland, Tom Tolbert. How are you today, man?
Adam, Tom, pleasure to be with you. What's happening?
We'd love to just be talking basketball, but it's the NBA, so we're talking injuries, you know?
Yeah, well, that's definitely a big part of my job.
Yeah. NBA playoffs, it seems like we can't get away from injuries. Every series seems to have their fair share of injuries. What's the latest on Anthony Davis, Mike?
I'll just say that things started to look a lot better than what they seemed like they could look after we all saw the incident and AD was going back to the locker room. And it's all been positive since then. I mean, the post-game locker room, Darvin Ham's comments after the game. And then yesterday, really, guys, was when it shifted when the first question we asked him at his presser at about 3 o'clock was, hey, what's up with AD? And he said, he's not in the protocols, he's feeling good, and he's listed as probable to play. So I think at that point, you sort of drop your level of concern a lot. And then on the other hand, we were starting to hear about Wiggins and that rib injury and that, the pain that it's going to require for him to play through. And that to me, Wiggins was awesome last game. He's the only big wing that the Warriors have, really, at least that Steve Kerr has been trusting to play minutes to. So to me, he's absolutely crucial for them. And I just hope that he plays. I hope that he's fine. These teams are pretty evenly matched, as we've seen so far, and I would love for them to get the chance to just actually play this out in the court and not have the, well, if blank would have been better, argument that will go on to into eternity.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you. When I found out that AD was having trouble, I'm like, God, I hope he's good to go. I just want to see when the playoffs start. I just want to see teams that are healthy and just let the best team win. I just hate that we have to factor in all these injuries throughout the course of the playoffs so far. Yeah. So hopefully AD can play and he can be ready to go, and then Wiggins can find a way to battle through that pain. What's been the Lakers' key to success? They're undefeated in the playoffs, but they started playing much better after the trade. I mean, what's been the one constant that they've had after the trade? Because it's been pretty impressive how the team has gelled.
Yeah, so it's a good question, and if you'll allow, I'll rewind a little bit and just go back to essentially when the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis, because the partnership with LeBron and AD, sometimes things take a little while in the NBA, and you guys know better than any how much continuity can help, certainly in this Warriors run with Steph and Clay and Draymond. But the second that the Lakers got LeBron and AD together, they were dominant right away. I mean, they started that season, I think, 22-3. They won 17 straight Western Conference road games. This, of course, was in the 1 year that the Warriors were down because of all the injuries the previous year, and so they didn't have anything to say about it that year. Then the Lakers go into the bubble. They go 4-1, 4-1, 4-1 in the West, and then win the finals in 6. It would have been 5, but Jimmy Butler had the kind of monster game that I think now we're a little bit more accustomed to him seeing that we saw in the first round. So, that was a dominant team. Then they got about a month and a half off between the title in October and the start of that next season in December, and they were just worn out guys. I called it the bubble tax. The same thing happened to Denver and Boston and Miami that year. All 4 of those teams that played into either late September or October just wore down. And so AD gets hurt in Game 4. They were up 2-1 on Phoenix. Phoenix ends up winning the series. When AD doesn't play, they go to the finals. And then the Lakers made the Westbrook trade, and it just wasn't a good fit. So once they kind of corrected for fit and they made a trade that had more complementary players around LeBron and AD, it's like, guys, they went right back to being really good again and really dominant again. And it's just crazy. I think that's the one reason I wanted to go back, though, is because, it's not just that they threw the team together at the deadline, and yes, they got some bodies. It's that LeBron and AD are a dominant duo, just like Steph and Clay and Draymond are. And that, to me, is what this is mostly about. And, of course, you give credit to all the players like Austin Reeves and Russell and Vanderbilt and those guys that have come in alongside to help them.
We're talking to Mike Trudell, Spectrum Sports in Los Angeles and on the Lakers sideline. Do you have a finger on the pulse of AD's engagement? What I mean by that is we all know that when he's engaged, when he's into it, when he's focused defensively, things can go really, really well for him. And I think even this postseason, when he hasn't gone well offensively, he's made sure he was still making an impact on the defensive end. Certainly in this series, it happened in the last series, I felt, against Memphis too. I guess what I'm asking here is, coming off of an injury here, had a good performance, I thought, last game before he left. Is there any anticipation for what type of engagement you can foresee for Anthony Davis? Because some nights he's all there and he's the best player in the league, and some nights he just doesn't have it.
Yeah, see, I don't really agree with that. I do agree that that's been the narrative around AD. But I think that he has been somebody that's been basically the best defensive player in the league all season. Now, the Lakers were not good as a team earlier, so I think that's something that kind of went wayward. And I get that. They were literally the 13th seed in February, right? So you're not necessarily going to be looking there for all NBA and all defensive team type performers. But, he is that good defensively. I think when it comes to offense with AD, we have to remember that LeBron James is on his team. And LeBron James is still going to have the basketball more than anybody else. He's still going to initiate, as well he should, because that's something that he's done throughout his career better than anybody else. But there were a couple of different stretches where LeBron was out, and AD was basically going for 30 every game in those contexts. So it's he's got all of the skills that you need on offense. Sometimes he either doesn't get the ball as much because he is a big, and other times, like in the Memphis series, they scouted him number one in the scouting report. They were trapping him with Jaren Jackson Jr., by the way, the actual defensive player of the year this year, right? Not guarding Vanderbilt. And that was why he had some lower scoring games. There was one game where I thought the energy wasn't great from him, but that was kind of a reflection of Memphis being desperate in a home game. They were down 0-1. So I've felt like AD's been pretty consistent. Yeah. There are just times when the Lakers run things through LeBron because he's LeBron. And then that comes to, well, hey, where was AD's game offensively today? He didn't have it. In this series, guys, I also think that Draymond has been terrific. He's one of the guys in the league, the best defensive players in the NBA in the last 15 years, Draymond and AD. So, but I think that AD can attack Draymond more and essentially not let him alpha the game, which is I thought Draymond did in Game 5. So I know that's a long-winded answer. I just think that it's more complicated in the games that sometimes AD doesn't go off offensively. It's a mix of the defense doing that, and the Lakers can run things through their wings and their perimeter players.
Good breakdown. Yeah.
What do you see for Russell tonight? Because it's hard when they just stick Gary Payton on him and say, sick him. Go get him, because he doesn't have the speed to get away from Payton. He loves to play at that slow pace, which really doesn't benefit him against a guy like Payton. And Schroeder, however, for those people that were paying attention, he was a plus 14 in a 15-point loss. He was incredible. He's been really good this entire series. I was going to ask if we'll see more of him, but he did play 28 minutes, and some of it was, I think he had 3 fouls at one point, so he may even have played more. But could you see him playing more point guard and not having Russell? Do they like having Russell on the court just as a threat to be able to stretch the court, even if he's kind of being taken out of his game? How do you see that play out? Because to be honest with you, Mike, I mean, Schroeder scares me a lot more than Russell does.
Well, so guys, the way I would frame it, it's less so Russell or Schroeder and more like Schroeder or Vanderbilt. I think that Vanderbilt ends up being the one that sees his minutes cut some, and then they just play the 3 guards more, so that it's Schroeder and Austin Reeves and D'Lo, because so even if D'Lo, and by the way, I love Gary Payton II. I think he's great defensively. You just give him credit. He's gonna make it difficult for basically any guard outside of Steph, and I think he could actually even make it a little difficult on Dame. I mean, he's nasty defensively. He's just a really good player. That's why, and anybody that watched the Warriors win the title last year knows that. And there's a reason why they went back and got him despite this injury risk. So anyway, just wanted to get my stand credit there for Gary Payton. So I don't think the Lakers are worried about D'Lo, because when he's on the court, he has to be defended, and that's sort of the point. And so I will sort of reject the screen a little bit and say that the player that I think the Lakers have to kind of focus on, and it's going to be LeBron. This is a star game. This is the game where you can see LeBron, and you guys have seen it over the years, and certainly throughout those finals matchups against the Warriors. in those days, you were getting, if the series went 7, you were getting 7 LeBron games, like every game, right? That's in his prime. Now he's doing something that literally no player has ever done in year 20, other than Kareem, and that's even play a role in a postseason in year 20. Now, technically, Robert, Udonis Haslam, I think, played a couple, but really it was just Kareem, and he was not being asked to carry much at that stage in his 20th season. So LeBron, as I get long-winded here, like, he's not going to give you 7 of that full total physical effort, but I think tonight, you're going to get whatever he has tonight, and that to me is the key. Like, this is the game where LeBron has been sort of channeling whatever he has to get through the previous couple games, and that's to me how you create advantage against this Warriors defense. It's not necessarily by asking Russell to take Gary Payton the second off the dribble.
Mike Trudell, Spectrum Sports, the voice you hear on the UMA guest line. So Tom and I have been saying this for a couple of days, and we thought maybe Game 5 could have been the game, and maybe now it'll be this game. As you just said, LeBron is going to give you everything he has. Does it still feel like that LeBron is biding his time, that he's got one of those LeBron classic vintage games in there, that if he's going to empty the tank for one, this would be it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? It's one of those things, and the irony here is that you could say the same thing about the Warriors.
Sure.
Like, when have Steph and Draymond and Clay not delivered when they've had to? I mean, what are they, 19-0 in the West? And, so, something's got to break there, but I just don't want to be the one that counts that out for LeBron, especially because I've seen him do this last round. He just did the same thing in Memphis, and he didn't. The way that he unleashed it in Game 6 was a little different from what you might expect. Like, it wasn't that, hey, dominate the ball, score every possession. It was super quick, direct movements to the basket at key times. It was defensive rotations, just sort of a serious presence on every single play. No wasted motion, just being totally locked in. And honestly, that's like how I felt Draymond was last game. And I just think that when LeBron has called upon that, it has not yet happened where he hasn't had it to be enough to win the game. And that, to me, I think from a Lakers point, that's what I think they hope the difference would be in a game like tonight. And I'm sure that the Warriors have other designs.
How much did the trading of Russell Westbrook help Austin Reeves? I mean, I watched quite a few Laker games. I just don't remember the timeline. Was he doing all the stuff he was doing when Westbrook was there? Did he take a bigger role? Because he's been fantastic. He's more athletic than you think he is. He's better defensively than you think he is. He's not afraid of the moment at all. I mean, he's fun to watch. I like him. But did he make that transition with the Westbrook trade, or was that even in progress even before that?
Yeah, so no, he's been the same player. Yeah, honestly, like, since they got him and he was an undrafted player, I think that part of the reason he was undrafted is that, I think they saw an opportunity for him to actually play with the Lakers, and once it got out of the first round, I think there was some discouragement probably in selecting him up until the point of later on. And so the Lakers bring him in, and he looks great in the summer league, but not like, you can tell that he needs some players around him where he can use all of that IQ that he has, and that's harder to show in the California Classic, right? Like up in Sacramento or Golden State. Yeah. So you get to the preseason, and he gets on the floor with LeBron, and then that's when right? It's like, oh yeah, okay. So like, he's got the package that's going to have success. But it's then what's hard is you bring somebody in on a mid-level exception, right? You have a free agent acquisition, maybe a trade. It's hard to immediately be like, hey, undrafted rookie free agent, you're getting that shot. So you have to. Alex Caruso had to do the same thing. And like, I get it, that's how it works, but he basically just, every time he was put out there, the tape that he put on in the film room was so good that the role just kept steadily increasing. And so, yeah, like when Westbrook got traded, the minutes and stuff went up some, but he had already been playing a lot of games. He had been closing a lot of games. What actually did it was when LeBron got hurt in March. That's when he got put, like, when they really needed him to go up and show that playmaking and everything that we see now. Like, we knew internally that it was there. That was the time that he was able to prove it with no LeBron. So I think it was less the trade deadline, because remember, they brought in D'Lo and Beasley too. And so those were the two that were starting at the trade deadline. It was really March when late February, March when LeBron got hurt, that we saw Reeves go to this next level.
Got it.
Mike Trudell covers the Lakers for Spectrum Sports down in L.A. Mike, thanks so much for making time today, man. And I know everybody up here is hoping we'll see you on Sunday, dude.
I am not interested in skipping Mother's Day with my wife, and
come on,
I don't
Mike.
think she is super interested in that. Guys, I can't even cancel brunch at this point. They're going to charge me like $50 a pop for all my kids. So no, I'm not trying to see you up there. Sorry.
All right, dude. Well, for your pocketbook, I hope it works out, but for us, I hope it doesn't, man. We'll catch you later, Mike. Thanks,
man.
dude. Mike. All right, man. Mike Trudell covers the Lakers for Spectrum Sports and Lakers sideline reporter on the games on TV down in Los Angeles. Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday. A lot of wives and girlfriends and families upset about that Niners schedule rolling out on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Ooh. You know what I mean? I was like, a lot of people.
Isn't there like was it the New Year's Day?
They get a New Year's Eve game. Last year we had a New Year's Day. Remember it was New Year's Day in Vegas last year.
Sorry, honey, can't go to the party
Stidham.
either.
Yeah, well, no, they have a good one this year because it's. I think the Niners play a morning 10 a.m. game here, and they're at DC. They're at the Commanders, so we get a pretty good. Oh, okay. We get a good New Year's Eve tilt.
So you're getting party. Oh yeah, you go party. Yeah, if you
can
want
empty
to.
the tank after the game. Yeah, for sure. After they beat down the commies. All right, we'll go from that back into some baseball. Check this out. I just saw this. Got a push notification. Yuri Garcia is a 20-year-old flamethrowing right-hander for the Miami Marlins. He's making his major league debut tonight. Just got called up. He's their top prospect, one of the top pitching prospects in all of baseball. He's 20 years old. He'll be the first player in Major League Baseball born in 2003 when he makes his debut tonight.
Who are they playing?
The Marlins? I haven't seen who the Marlins are playing at. I'll take a look at that.
I got to check it out.
We'll talk to Jeremy Affeldt about that because I believe, I think Jeremy was in the Bigs in 2003, but also I believe Madison Bumgarner was 20 years old when he made his Major League debut for the Giants in 2009 in August. We'll talk to Jeremy Affeldt about that. Getting a young guy who comes up and sort of sparks your club, much like Casey Schmidt has, and a young player like that. That's just wild. 20 years old. It's crazy. Jeremy Affeldt joins us on the other side at 4:50. We will talk to Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. It's Tolbert and Copes right here on the Sports Leader. Jeff Van Gundy joined Papa and Lund today before he calls tonight's Game 6 between the Warriors and the Lakers from Crypto.com Center in Los Angeles. That podcast and more is trending on the all-new KNBR app. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here. My good friend Steve Moskowitz hanging out on the line with us on a Friday afternoon. Steve, tell the people what to do if they can't pay their taxes.
And we take care of your listeners. There's so many good ways to handle this. I can list all the details, and if you call us, I'll explain all the options to you. And then we'll choose what's best for you. And in almost all cases, we're the ones that talk to the IRS, not you and the state. We make a deal, and then you can have a normal life, whether you only pay part and they forgive the rest, or get the penalties forgiven, or make monthly installments, or just have them leave you alone for a while until you're back on your feet. There's so many good deals, but whatever you do, don't ignore them, because there's a whole bunch of new notices getting ready to go out, and they're going to go after people. Let us just take care of it for you.
Let Steve Moskowitz do it for you. Thanks so much, Steve. Have a nice weekend. Give Steve Moskowitz a call, 888-TAX-DEAL, or you can find him online, MoskowitzLLP.com.
It is Friday. We generally like to talk a little baseball on Friday, and along with other days. And to help us do so, break down Casey Schmidt and the Giants, Jeremy Appelt, Built for the Storm podcast. What's going on, Jeremy?
What's up, Jeremy?
Nah, man, nada. We, new stuff going on at the brewery. I'm building a stage and knocked down a building and, expanding. So I actually had to be there to work.
Whoa, do you gonna have concerts or something?
Yeah, man. We got bands on Friday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, man. We rock and roll on that thing. I bought an old 1950 flatbed delivery truck from Fort Hood.
What?
And brought it down there, and so I put a cover on it today, so they got a whole stage, and that's what they play on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Now,
yep.
I'm guessing you're kind of a country guy. You're a country guy. Yeah. Kind of figured that.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to want to do that in the city, but, it's fine. Noise ordinances. The good thing, see, when you live out here and you live in a small Texas town and you're playing music and someone gets upset about, like, the music being too loud, we just tell them to put earplugs in and roll over on the other side of the bed and put a pillow over their head so they can't hear. We don't have noise ordinances here, so it's good.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
we're gonna play as loud as we want.
Yeah, exactly.
That is great. Let me ask you about Casey Schmidt. I mean, obviously he's been incredible the first 3 games he's played. What do you remember about, like, when you were a vet, rookies coming up and performing well right away, and what kind of energy they can bring to the clubhouse and just the whole vibe? Because I think sometimes, even though vets love what they do, you can get a little jaded sometimes. It's a job. You show up, you do what you do, and it kind of becomes, same old sometimes, where when rookies come up, it's like, man, this is incredible. First time I've ever played here. First time I've ever done that. Yeah. First time I've ever seen that guy. This is awesome. Like, the energy they bring can be infectious sometimes, can it?
Absolutely, it can. And because you're exactly right. When you get to the veteran level, you still want to play, but you kind of look at it as I've been in this stadium like 72 times. I know exactly where to go. I get dropped off at a certain door. I know where to go in. Mm-hmm. That's a routine. I see this pitcher. I face this hitter. I face him all the time for the last 10 years. So it's like, there's not that, ooh, look who I'm facing, or wow, that stuff is better than I saw on TV when I was in high school. You don't have that anymore. But you do need to be reminded that it is a game. It's supposed to be fun. You've got to have energy, accept accept the energy and play with that same kind of energy. And when you're struggling, sometimes you need to be reminded, that, hey, I'm struggling, but when I was doing really well, or when I first came up and I was having a good time, how did I see the game? That's what I need to get back to. And if you can't get back to it, that's when you know you got to retire, right? Okay, I just can't do it anymore. I can't enjoy the game how it needs to be played, and I can't be like this kid right here, and I don't need to bring that kid down. So, like, I need to either get with the program, or I just got to move on. It's pretty simple.
What always cracks me up, we're talking to Jeremy Affeldt on the Uma guest line, are guys whose ability sort of, it's more mature than maybe their personality or their character is. Like, for example, like Wander Franco of the Tampa Bay Rays. They were like calling him like El Jefe when he was like the boss, when he was like in single A. He was like the captain of the team at like 16, 17 years old. This guy was like the best player on the team. Did you see the thing he did last week, Jeremy, where he fields a ball and he's about to throw a guy out at first from shortstop, and he tossed the ball. He like bat flipped the ball to himself as a defender, and then threw the guy out at first. I was like, he's hot dogging a ground ball, which is, I got a kick out as a fan. I was like, this is hysterical. I want more guys to do this as long as it's not on my team. I don't want them giving up outs for it. But I wonder about I want to say Bumgarner was like 20 years old when he came up and made his debut with you guys. I think about guys who had their ability that sort of exceeded maybe their maturity or their personality. Can you think of anybody like that? And how sort of you deal with that in a clubhouse? Because sometimes these guys are just kids, and yet they can do things to help you win a championship.
I mean, I think you got to think of a few. I mean, Buster was one of those. The guy was like 45 when he was like 22, So, it's like real old soul, kind of played everything even keel, never got too high, too low, just kind of did his job. I think you had other guys like Pablo Sandoval, young guy, man, and played with a ton of energy and, did some fun stuff, out there. I think you have Justin Verlander. Man, I watched that kid come. That guy came up when I was about 2-3 years in the big leagues maybe. And this is some young 20-year-old or whatever guy, or, 23, 24, but he was like this first rounder, be like, whatever. We've seen a ton of first rounders. It's a Detroit Tiger first rounder. Like, what's going to happen, And all of a sudden, the guy threw a one-hitter pumping, 98 on the black. You're just like, who is this guy? But he always carried himself like he knew. He knew what he's doing. He carried himself like he's been in the big leagues for 10 years, and he played that way. I think, there's just a lot of Griff was like that, but Griff grew up in the game, so that's a little different. But Griff was 20 years old when he came up and acted like he was just, 35, 40 years old, playing like it was no big deal. Trout was another young guy.
19,
Harper, all those, you got Harper came up. I mean, he had a beard when he was 12. You saw those freaking clips of that guy. Like you were just like, those. You have freaks like that, and the Schmidt kid might be it, right? Like to me, like the way he's kind of. Granted, he's real early in his career, but I mean, he's pretty good approach at the plate. Big player, committed swing. He obviously has ridiculous numbers his first few games, but that's still really hard to do, And I think we all thought about Buster the same way. Like, man, he came in, he's got some good plate appearances his first couple of games, made an impact right out the gate. But, I mean, it's hard to do, but will he do that when they make adjustments? I don't know. We don't know what he can do. And then he wins Rookie of the Year, and I said, well, I guess we figured out what he could do, So, I think that the Giants need a spark like that. Hopefully this kid could bring that. Hopefully he can bring that. I think they were thinking Joey Bart might be that guy, and I'm not saying he can't be that guy in the end. I think they thought he would be more of that guy earlier, and it's not a knock. He just wasn't, right? And he's learning the game, and he's starting to catch the ball a lot better. He's framing a lot better. He's making more of an impact, and so I think you just got to figure out when guys mature, and the Schmidt guy, hopefully is the guy that can come up and, make an impact early.
I'm wondering if, because obviously you guys love to have guys like Posey come up, right? He's a vet when he gets there. He's 22 going on 45. But do you need a mix? Can you have too much of one thing? Because you don't want too many kids in the clubhouse where it's just romper room and you feel like you're having to police your own locker room every other day. But I'm wondering if the same could be said for having too many like too many old souls where they're just like, I don't want to say there's no fun because you can still have fun, but you know what I'm saying? Like if there's not a mix of it, do you need that? Do you need some guys like Pablo who you may roll your eyes at occasionally, but that energy that they can bring kind of is different than the professionalism that like Posey might bring, which is cool too. But if you don't have both, then it can get out of control or it can get a little stale.
Yeah, and the stale is what you definitely don't want. Out of control, you can kind of harness in where then it becomes, hey, man, we got an out-of-control clubhouse. We are definitely, and that's where veterans have the ability to have a voice, right? Like, I was on teams. We had a couple, we were getting outnumbered, and I was not there yet, but there were some other guys that were there, and they went out and they talked to us and said, hey, we got to get something in here, man, because we got to have more leadership. We're getting to a point where when we try to talk to the younger kids, they look at us like, what are you going to do about it? I'm not going anywhere, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like before, if you had like 4 or 5 young guys and then, some mid-level guys and some really vet guys, you have a pecking order, I guess you could say. And it's going to be like, no, you're not solid here and you will be gone because there's a lot of guys that have more say than you think. And you're not going to be that in this situation. And if you have enough of a mix, I don't like too many big time, like high end, like, big long vets. I don't like too many young guys. I like a mix of like, you got some rookies that need to be shown the ropes. You got some mid-level players that are not considered vets, but they've been there long enough to know what they're doing and they know how to handle themselves. And then you've got basically the salty guys, right? That are like, hey man, we're like, we're going to play this game right. So I like that mix. If you don't have that, you will have either, you will be stale, which is no fun because then your clubhouse feels like a morgue. Right? Like, oh, man, here we go. Like, the guy's just bitter about even putting on a pair of cleats today. Great, And then you got the other guy that it's like he's blowing a bubble in your face and snap it in your ear and you want to freaking, strangle him, So you got one or the other. If you have that going on, you don't want that. So.
That's to mix up the faces in there. I always say that, like in baseball, I've always felt like the clubhouse culture, and maybe Tom, you can speak to this too, because I'm sure it's delicate in every league. But in baseball, where you're together every day, and we always think, I know Crawford's the one who sort of put this in my head. I heard him say this years ago. Excuse me, where he said, we say it's 162 games, but if you add in the 30 or 40 you got to play in spring, plus all the games you play in the postseason, we're talking closer to 200 plus games. And you're spending every single day with a lot of these guys on the road and in the clubhouse. How delicate is a big league clubhouse? Is stuff like this important? Change and character and things like that where guys come up and mix up the ebbs and flows? Because it's not just about what happens on the field. It's about, like what you're talking about, guys feeling like they're not walking on eggshells around Ed Harris in Major League, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got good cop, bad cop, right? And you got guys that, hey, if you got veterans that are going to be like, if you see a veteran getting too hard a young guy and that young guy doesn't really know what to do with it, they don't feel like, man, I got nothing. Another vet's going to go up to that vet and be like, no, you need to back it down. Like, and he'll respect it. The vet will respect another vet saying you need to back it down.
Which one were you? Which vet were you, Jeremy?
Man, I was honestly
good cop or bad cop?
Weird. Yeah. But I was both. So Here's what it was unbelievable. So Kane was the good cop because he didn't say a whole lot, but he just walked over to you. And I was the bad cop. I mean, come on. Like, you call me Douchefelt for a reason, right? And like, great. I got my name Douchefelt.
It's not even clever.
Like,
no.
And you go in the club and I just bury a dude. And the thing is, it was so crazy because it's like, that's not who I am. I actually have a lot of fun. I mess around a lot. But all of a sudden, I'll walk in and just bury a guy, and the guy's like, what? And you almost like, and I'll look at Kane, and he'll look at me, and I'll be like, was that good, you think? Or do you think I should have been a little less harsh? And Kane's like, I'll go over and clean it up. I'm like, all right. Like I don't know, because I didn't want to do it, but I just did it. And then Kane goes over, and I see him sit, and the guy's laughing, and I'm like, he walks over to his locker, and he said, I did it. I'm like, that's great. Can you be the bad cop now? He's like, I don't have personality as the bad cop. You got to keep doing it. I'm like, I'm tired of doing it. I can't do this much longer. He's like, you got to keep doing it. It's working. I'm like, this sucks, And so then I go over to that kid that didn't want to even look at me, I'm like, hey, and he'd be like, yeah, and I'll be like, hey, I just want to tell you something. if I didn't like you, I wouldn't talk to you. So I know you probably didn't like how I talked to you, but if I didn't like you, I wouldn't talk to you. So you might want to just take that, as a grain of salt and understand I'm trying to help you. But I'm also trying to tell you that no one's going to be nice here, man. No hitter, because I've had to get into some pitchers a little bit, and I was like, no hitter is going to be like, man, he's got like an 80 ERA. We probably should strike out tonight and just throw a shutout. Like no one feels bad for you. So I'm just trying to teach you to be more mentally tough, and you got to get to a certain point. Eventually, you're going to know that I'm helping you. And Matt's going to be, he's going to help you out, man. He's going to kind of get you to understand what I did right there. But this is how I got to do it because it's the only way I know how to do it. Yeah. And they'll be like, all right. And then I'd mess with them. But then Kane stuck me in 2014, and all of a sudden Strickland, I get into Strickland because, he was doing his stuff, right, where he was, he's getting in trouble. Remember all those times he'd close out a game where he'd yell at guys after a homer?
Yep.
And so Sabian grabs me, and he looked at me, and he said, hey, you better clean that up. And I'm like, you want me to clean it up?
He's yelling.
Yeah, you need to clean that up. I'm not going to deal with him doing that anymore. You need to tell him he's in the playoffs. This is a big clean it up and get him to clean it up. I'm like, all right. So I went over and said, you need to clean it up, man. You need to clean it up. I don't want to hear you. Don't sniff whatever's in that bottle and freak out and run out on the freaking mound. Don't be yelling at dudes. Like, cut it out. You need to act. Look, and everybody knows you're jacked. You don't have to tell everybody you're jacked. Like, and so I kind of got into him, and then Kane goes over. Kane goes over, and I looked at him and I was like, I can only get so tough, man, because the guy will break me in half. So, I got to be careful. And Kane's like, yeah, he would probably kill you. I'm like, yeah, he will. So I can only get him so mad, right? And so Kane goes over, and Strick comes over to me, and Strick's like, dude, I really appreciate that offer, man. I'm like, what offer? Well, I was telling him I was trying to save I was kind of just excited to be here. I want to stay here. I want to get a truck, and I haven't had a truck. And Kane said, you'll sell me your truck. And I said, what? And I said, I'm going to sell you my truck. He said, yeah, Kane said you're going to sell me your truck. Do you want to sell your truck? I love your truck. He said, I could buy it from you. And I looked over at Kane, and I'm like, you sell him your truck. He's like, I like my truck. Sell him your truck. I'm like, I like my truck. He's like, he's a bullpen guy, man. Hook him up. I'm like, are you what? And I'm like, and Kane's like, dude, you need him for the playoffs. Freaking sell me your truck. I'm like, bro. So I go over to, and Kane, Kane's just looking at me. I'm like, you little turd. So then I walked over and I said, I'll tell you what. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. We won the World Series. You can have my truck. And I'll sell it to you for this price right here. He's like, really? Win the World Series, you're going to get a little bonus. You got my truck. Or no, I said if we get to the World Series. So if we win the NLCS, I know that we're going to get a chunk of change regardless if we win or not. If we get to the World Series and you pitch in the NLCS and you help us get to the World Series, I'll sell you my truck. And we'll agree on the price right now. And we got a price, said, okay. And I'm like, great. So I'm like, I walk off. I'm like, whatever. We're all tight. I don't know if we're going to go or not. You never know. It's great. Will we win to go to the World Series? And I'm like, and Kane's like, dude, you got to sell your truck. I'm like, I didn't mean it. And Kane's like, you said it. You got to do it. So I'm like, so I walk over to Strick and I'm like, hey, that truck thing. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm super pumped. I'll write you a check right now. It's awesome. I'm like, dang it. So I'm not kidding you. I literally had to sell my freaking truck, and I had to go find another truck. And Kane was like, dude, that's how you do a bad cop. I'm like, that's not how you do a bad cop. I lost my freaking truck out of this deal.
Dude, by the way,
you lost your truck.
You should have held the clause in there that he had to help you get to the World Series. I'm looking at his numbers for that postseason. I think you got a case for getting your truck back, man. With an opposing OPS of over 1,200 and 6 homers. Tough deal.
I know. I said, you're right. I should have said if you not just if you pitch in the NLCS, you got to actually But he closed out a big game against Washington, whatever, with that 18 inning or whatever he had to do.
He did get the save there, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, but man, and then in Kansas City when he threw all that hoop, but that's where I got when Sabian was like, I thought you were going to clean that up. I said I did clean it up. I'll go tell him again. So then I took him for a walk and said, I sold you my truck, dude. You got my truck. All right, I'm trying to figure out. I got a guy right now trying to find me a truck. I don't even have a car to drive in the off season. So quit acting like that on the mound. We're in the World Series. please stop and just compete. I don't want to hear you. Don't freak out anymore on the mound. You know, if someone hits a homer, you throw right down the middle. Don't get mad at him. He hit a homer. So we had to have another come to Jesus meeting, but I literally went home that year and I had no truck. I didn't have a truck till like January that year, and I was like, dang it. So he still does not apologize for it. Still does not apologize.
You got caned.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I did get caned, but I don't make freaking $200 gazillion. Okay?
Yeah, I think they gave him a truck too for the perfect game. Didn't they give him a car? I think he got a free one too. Bumgarner too for the World Series and all that technology and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, man, freaking starters. What a bunch of freaking silver spoon kids.
Prima donnas. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hey, before I let you run, what do we got for Built for the Storm podcast coming up here?
Man, you know what? I've got a couple guests, really these two. I've got one that I'm really thinking I want to put out. She's called the Mission Walker. She's really awesome. She had cancer. She was supposed to die. She walked like 1,600 miles, and all of a sudden it just cleaned her blood. She's been alive. I mean, she just went on a mission. She tells her story how she believes in walking and the importance of walking. And man, I've been sitting on that one for a little bit, but I think it's a really important one to bring out because I think it's just a really cool story. So I'm thinking about launching that one here shortly if I can. But I've got another one that I'm thinking about, coming out with, but I think I'm going to push that one right now. I'm excited. We got some really good, some fun guests coming up, though. I've got some good leadership guys. A guy that wrote a book called 7 Days in Utopia, David Cook. I'm looking forward to having him on the podcast, hopefully here shortly. And he's a sports psychologist you might know him, Tolbert. He was maybe not. He was a sports psychologist for the Spurs in the 90s. It was phenomenal.
Oh, was he?
They're doing their run. Yeah. And he's now one of the leading PGA sports psychologists for the PGA. He wrote that book, 7 Days in Utopia, became a movie, had Richard Duvall in it. It was a golf movie. It was really good, but it was a great book. It changed my career, but he just talks about how to handle storms from the mental side. So that could be a good one too. I'm really intrigued about.
Yeah, you told me about the girl that was walking like up and down the coast, basically, and that's an amazing story. That is, and the fact that how she healed herself just by getting out and walking, that was incredible. Yeah,
like the doctor's like, man, you clean your blood, like it's perfect. I mean, it's great. It's great. But I didn't thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. That was awesome. I really appreciated your vulnerability, and I hope a lot of people listen to it because that was awesome. That was a really incredible story, man. Like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your son. Proud of your family. So I just appreciate everything. So
I appreciate it. That was it was good. It was cathartic for me. And if you're not going to tell stories like that on a podcast called Built for the Storm, then when are you going to tell stories like that? So.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. It was good for me, and I appreciate you having me on. So get back to selling some beer and listening to some live music and upsetting neighbors that are upset you're playing it too loud late at night. Have a good weekend, Jeremy.
See you, Jeremy.
All right, guys.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Great stuff from Jeremy Affel. We do it every week with him on Friday afternoons. Built for the Storm podcast. Make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get back into a little bit of basketball. Celtics and the 76ers head to Game 7. 86-95 was the final on that one. Boston wins in Philly. We got a Game 7 on Sunday between those two teams. Warriors and Lakers will have a Game 7 if the Warriors win tonight. And you've got Miami and the Knicks getting ready to tip off in just a bit. They can have a Game 7 if the Knicks win in Miami to force that Game 7 on Monday night. James Harden scored only 13 points, was 0 of 6 from 3, and a horrible first half for Jason Tatum, but he righted the ship in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics force a Game 7. We'll get into that on the other side, and then Marcus Thompson joins us at 4:50. Tolbert and Copes, only here on the Sports Leader. Andrew Wiggins is questionable for tonight's game with a rib cartilage fracture. He was at shoot-around this morning, participated in the walkthrough, then got some treatment. He's going to try to go tonight. There's more on that story. It's trending on the all-new KNBR app.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Xfinity. Everything's changing rapidly these days. You got to keep up, especially with your Wi-Fi, right? You got people at home that are working, schooling, gaming, streaming, just on the internet cruising, on all kinds of devices, laptop, desktop, tablet, phone. You want everyone to, nobody wants lagging. Nobody wants lagging. And if they get lagging, you get whining. And I know you don't want whining either. That's why you get with Xfinity 10G network. Yeah, everyone gets taken care of. The people that I mentioned getting taken care of, 10 times that many people could be in your house. They'd all get taken care of. They're having a big party with everybody on their phone, enjoying themselves, enjoying your 10G. That's right. That's what they would be enjoying. It'd be a brutal party, everyone on their tablets, but no lagging. You got that going for you, which is nice. So how does 10G sound to you? Because I'm sure you're like me. You have a bunch of people in the house. You want to take care of them. You don't want any whining. You want 10G. And right now through June 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required, and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. All you have to do is go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or if you're out and about, visit an Xfinity store today. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay, stored bank account, restrictions apply, tax fees, extra after promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Just to make that perfectly clear, you love sports, you love high def, you love incredibly fast Wi-Fi, and reliability that goes with it. Oh, you're going to love 10G, and you are going to love Xfinity.
Do yourself a favor. Download the KNBR app on your smartphone. You'll be glad you did. This is KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM.
You knew that when this matchup was materializing, it felt almost preordained to be another epic classic, the most played playoff series in NBA history. They've met 22 times, and it will come down to 48 minutes in Boston.
Tolbert and Copes hanging with you on a Friday afternoon. We are now streaming live, KNBR.com, the KNBR app. Nicely done, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great minds, dude. Great minds during that break, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm joining you. You want to check out the live stream, KNBR.com, YouTube, the KNBR page, or the all-new KNBR app. Nice. Nicely done. Look at that. Look at that. You can toast Tom when you hop on. We got basketball tonight. Warriors game 6 against the Lakers, and the Knicks and Heat are getting ready to tip off here in just a few minutes. Last night, though, a game 6 between the 76ers and the Celtics have settled them on a game 7. Boston 95, Philadelphia 86. So we'll have at least one game 7 on Sunday, another if the Warriors win tonight. Jason Tatum through the first 3 quarters. Well, for the first half, he was 0 of 10 with 1 point. Mm-hmm. Worst half of his career.
He had missed, I think, 19 straight first quarter shots. They said it's the worst. They've never, 25 years. I think he was the first guy to ever go 19 straight first quarter misses. And I don't know how many games that encompassed. Maybe 4. I don't know. Maybe all of them. I'm not sure. But I was like, dang, that's rough. 19 straight misses in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's if we rounded out with 20. You know?
Well, I think he can.
He's got a shot. Streaks alive.
A shot.
Remember when we were getting live look-ins? Remember when Chris Davis, the Oriole, not the A?
Yes.
Remember when he was chasing the strikeout record for like most strikeouts, and was it consecutive at bats without a hit or something, or number of strikeouts to start a season?
It was brutal. Felt bad for him.
Dude, they were doing live look-ins on ESPN, like Watch Him K. I was like, it's like watching Bonds chase the record. Nobody needs to see that. I wonder what the record is for most consecutive missed free throws by a player.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I'd just be hacking the hell out of that dude, you know? He's on the floor, we're hacking him.
Boy, like the Futility Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Like what's the most consecutive interceptions? I wonder if anybody's thrown 3 straight interceptions on 3 straight passes.
I thought Nate Peterman came close. Didn't Nate Peterman?
He had 5.5, which is impressive.
After 4, you're still throwing, my man? Like they're still calling pass plays? Come on.
Yeah, that's on the offensive coordinator or the coach. Like, bro, you got to know 5's coming, right? Yeah, I think that's the most ever and a half. I mean, that I can remember, but I don't know how many of them were on consecutive passes. You think there's so much football that's been played, right? Somebody has to have thrown a pick on 3 consecutive passes.
Yeah.
There's no doubt it's happened on 2 consecutive passes. So there's got to be somebody out there. Yeah, but straight missed free throws? That's a...
Ready? I've got it for you for free throws.
Oh, you do? Let me see if I can guess. Is it Chris Dudley?
No, but it is a guy it's a guy from like that era. I don't know if this guy's still playing. If he's not, then he just retired this year or last year. He would have been like one of these buyout guys over the last few years, but he was a good player in his time. But he was a player in the last 10, 15 years for sure.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Give me the team, see if I can get the player.
Pistons would be the team I associate him with the most.
Ben Wallace?
No. Post Ben Wallace.
Oh, post Ben Wallace.
I guess Ben Wallace would have been 20 years ago, 03, yeah.
Yeah, he would have been, when they won the title. I don't know who.
Andre Drummond. Am I right on that, Pistons? Is that right?
Yes. I should have got that.
So Andre Drummond.
How many?
23 consecutive missed free throws.
What?
In a game.
No way.
Oh, no. Is that consecutive, Derek? Or is that just in one game? Most missed in a game, or is that consecutive?
My God.
23 straight missed would be insane. I think that's in a game, Derek. I think that's
23
but in a game would be
insane.
Still in a game, like what?
Oh, in a game, that's horrendous. But I could see them, pulling the Dwight Howard. Like, how many Dwight Howard missed against the Warriors that one night? He must have missed 20 because he got fouled 45 times. So it wouldn't be a big surprise if he went 25 for 45.
Yeah.
right?
Yes. DeAndre Jordan once missed 22.
That's unbelievable.
In a game. Yeah, this isn't a game. Wilt Chamberlain once missed 22. But I think it doesn't matter,
That's the great thing about
he shoot him backwards. Like Wilt shot him from back. He threw it over his head. Yeah.
He threw him underhand. He took jump shots. He went to the left. He went to the right. The interesting part about his 100-point game is he was 28 for 32 from the free throw line that game.
Whoa.
And he was not a good free throw shooter. But that's pretty amazing that he shot that. I mean, what is that? 28 for 32. That's going to be 85%, somewhere around there. That's pretty amazing.
So actually, DeAndre Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain have 4 of the top 5.
4 of the top 5?
Jordan missed 18 and 22. Wilt missed 19 and 22, only to be outdone by Andre Drummond, missing 23. It happened back in 2016. 23 free throw misses. He had 17. He had a double-double. That's incredible. And by the way, he shot 13 of 36. So I don't think that was consecutive, but that was in a game. Because he was 13 of 36 from the line. When Wilt missed 22, he was 8 of 30. That's wild, dude. 8 of 30. Yeah, I'm hacking him up.
That ain't good.
They weren't even trying to hack him. They just couldn't reach the ball. They were like, we can't get up there to this guy. This guy's bigger than everybody else is. Wilt's on the list big time. Yeah, most consecutive passes with an interception. That one would be tough. I don't know if we'd find 3. I bet you there's 3 out there. I bet you there's 3.
I don't even know if someone will keep track of that. You think about, what would be futility records? Like how many straight shots on goal score if you're a goalie? Like if you're a hockey goalie, did somebody have 4 straight shots on goal that scored?
Yeah.
Probably hard to get more than that because then they yank you. I would say, you know what? Well, you go ahead and take the rest of the night off, champ. We'll get back to you tomorrow. And by the way, I'm watching your guy, this Perez kid for the Marlins.
Yuri Perez, 20 years old.
98.
Still flames, right?
Big arm, yeah. He looks like he's probably, 6'3", 6'4", kind of slender. Pretty good curveball, pretty good changeup. Whatever the hell that thing was, 86 miles an hour. The bottom dropped out. I'm not sure what that was.
Splitter, changeup, who knows?
It could be splitter, possibly a splitter. But he does have a change because I know he threw one 84 and it was moving to his right. So, he looks like he's got the arm. There's no doubt about that. So, those hats, the Marlin hats are just oof. What is that? Teal, I guess. Yeah.
Are they wearing the old school Marlins hats? The old school. They brought those back this year. The pinstripes, like the 03, the old school ones.
They've turned Perez around there. Turned him around to left field just when I was like, oh, this guy's power arm. Tyler Stevenson just said, yeah, you take that power arm. Let me show you a power bat.
Stevenson's good hitter, good power on him, but
400
Marlins are scary, man. I was surprised they traded Pablo Lopez because they've got some pitching there. They had Pablo Lopez, obviously Alcantara won the Cy Young, and then if you got this kid here, that was going to be a nice big 3 for him. It's crazy how much talent the Marlins have had come through their organization. Just speaking of teams in Florida, by the way, I saw the. I don't know if this makes you happy or if this is going to piss us all off in 6 weeks. Zach Littell got picked up by the Tampa Bay Rays. He got waived by the I think it was either by the Reds or the Rangers. He was bouncing around, and then the Tampa Bay Rays picked him up, and I was like, damn, dude. This guy could have an ERA of 0.6 in a week and a half, and he's the nastiest 8th inning reliever in baseball. He'll be throwing 10 miles an hour harder than he threw when he was here, but anyway. By
the way, do the Giants have any kind of home run hat? I haven't noticed. I don't think they do.
Just about every team has got a dance or a
the Reds have the Viking helmet and the cape, the fur cape that you put on.
The Pirates do the sword, and they've got a big hat. I saw Andrew McCutchen hit one the other day, and he whipped out a sword when he got
okay.
He's also.
I know the Angels have the Kabuto they call it.
Yeah, they put it on Shohei. He's he gets it more than
anybody. Everybody. Everybody gets it. It's what is that? The Shogun.
It's a big warrior looking helmet or hat.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Shogun. Maybe it is Shogun warrior helmet. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, that thing's incredible. That thing is because they had the cowboy hat last year, and I'm starting to notice that there's a lot of teams that have certain hats and jacket you put on or whatever. It's just kind of wild. But the Viking helmet and the little fur cape was a solid look by the Reds. I like that one.
Just as we put a bow on this, you like Celtics, you like Sixers in Game 7?
Celtics. I think moving Robert Williams into the starting lineup was huge for them. They took Derek White out, went to Williams, got bigger, and just put him on. God, why am I blanking on his name? Big dude, played for the Rockets, power forward. 76ers. Who is it? The guy that you have to look this up. Am I getting that old?
PJ Tucker.
Thank you, Tucker. That I can't remember stupid names. Not that it's a stupid name, PJ. I like that name a lot. I don't want you finding out that I said that and hit me. But they're just putting him on him and letting him roam. And Robert Williams is an incredible defender. It's not a surprise they held him to under 90 points. When he played last year, that's when they were one of the best defensive teams, if not the best defensive team in the league. So I think that was a huge move. And plus, he was plus 18 last night in 27 minutes. So he just impacts the game offensively, gives them a vertical rim threat. Defensively, he's just an animal on defense. He's a tough customer. So I like them. I like the fact that, okay, we moved him into the starting lineup because you don't got to worry about space in the court because Horford can do that, and he can give you the vertical rim threat. So, yeah, I like them. I think they win Game 7, although I'd hate betting against Embiid. He's so good, and Maxey can hit you too. But they got through last night, and Tatum, as you said, started off 0 for 10 and then had like 14 points in the fourth quarter, hit the 3 or 4 threes in the fourth quarter. He was big in the fourth quarter, but the defense really locked Philly down. And I think if they can stay with that formula, kind of be a defensive team first, they're going to be awfully tough to beat in a Game 7 at home.
Yeah, Boston, who has not closed out teams the way they should have this season or this postseason, and didn't play well early in the series, is now forced a Game 7. We'll get that on Sunday. Warriors and the Lakers tip tonight at 6 o'clock. We are going to talk to Marcus Thompson coming up at 4:50. And by the way, we are live. You are looking live. We're streaming now on the all-new KNBR app, KNBR.com, and on YouTube. You can, a Friday 4:30, grab a beer, stop by, say what's up. Come by the live stream and toast your beer. Yeah, I don't know why we got the oh my God there. On the other side, how about this? Back into a little bit of football. We went through the brand new schedule for the 2023 season yesterday. We've got your best storyline games coming your way on the other side. And Tom Brady wants to buy what NFL team? We'll tell you about it next. It's Tolbert and Copes, only here on The Sports Leader.
What?
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The tuck rule game against the Raiders might have been a fumble.
All right, so we get into a couple of these games here as Marcus Thompson is going to join us in about 10 minutes at 4:50. Giants pregame from Arizona Game 2 against the Diamondbacks is coming your way at 5:40. But hear Tom Brady there. The tuck rule game might have been a fumble. We play that soundbite pretty frequently. Tom Brady, it's being reported, is in negotiations to buy a piece of the Las Vegas Raiders. I guess he previously bought stake in the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team that's out there, who have had success. Didn't they win the championship last year? I think they just won a title, the Las Vegas Aces, the first title for the city of Las Vegas. And I know they've got a good support group or a good fan base there because they're homegrown. The Vegas Knights have the same thing. Raiders don't get the same juice for sure. But interesting buy by Tom Brady. Can't imagine Raider fans are real happy about this. It's like if Max Muncy came back later and was like, by the way, Giants, I bought a slice. I bought a piece of the Giants. I hate it here. I hate it here, hate your ballpark, hate this team, but I bought a slice. Is Tom there? Do we have Tom? Tom, are you there? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Was your mic off?
What?
What?
Of course
Tom,
not.
are you there? Hello?
There you go.
Yeah, let's play that. No, I said, I might have bought a piece of your team.
Yeah.
Might have been a fumble. They're going to be like, oh, not that dude. That dude owns part of our team now? You kidding me? Oh, man.
What do you think the Ghost Al Davis feels like? You know what I mean? He's pissed.
He's rolling over.
You kidding me? Had SOBs buying my team? I mean, like,
so good.
He's probably pissed, dude. Like, can you imagine? The tuck rule game goes down, and then Al kicks it, and then his son just Fredo's the hell out of him. Stabs him right in the back, and he's like, yeah, Tom, you want to bring some of that money over here?
How's your mother?
Yeah, so what are, off the top of your head, what are teams, if you were a fan of that team, you just would not let this person buy a piece of your team?
Okay, so
period.
for the 49ers, let's start there. If you're the 49ers, who's the one guy, because obviously Tom Brady is the enemy number one for the Raider fans, right? I mean, going back to 2001, and he goes off and it sets him off on a run of all those championships. For the 49ers,
I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson is probably up there.
But if we're going player,
Phil
I'll go
Simms.
I was going to go Brett Favre.
Favre is good. Yeah, like 49er fans, 808 KNBR, who would be like, who's enemy number one? Like for the Giants, it would be, for me, for the Giants, it's like Muncy would take the cake over like Arenado or Goldschmidt, you know? I'd be like, that guy, keep that, yeah. Can you imagine that guy's like sitting up on the board? We're getting like shots at, we're doing executive shows with Max Muncy, Tom.
Yeah.
Comes on, he's like, yeah, ballpark sucks. I hate it. I'm not even coming back this year. Good investment opportunity for me, but I hate that team, hate that city.
Oh man.
Yeah, I like for the Warriors, it would be LeBron, right?
I don't know. They beat him. I mean, he only beat him one time.
Yeah.
I don't even know who would be.
It would feel dirty if LeBron tried to buy a piece of the Warriors.
Yeah,
though.
but,
I'd feel it would rub me the wrong way.
I don't know who would be because they've been so good over the last 8 years. I don't know if they have anybody that I look at and go, oh, that bleepity bleep. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, dude, 408 on the text line says for the Niners, Russell Wilson. Or Pete Carroll.
Oh,
can you imagine, dude, he's being all positive?
Like, yeah, the Seahawks. Yeah, the Seahawk angle is a good angle.
By the way, we didn't talk about this yesterday with the Niners being in Seattle on Thanksgiving. And this was my number one sort of storyline game. In Seattle on Thanksgiving, we going turkey leg on the field?
Turkey leg.
We're really, how many times are we going to see that?
Time for redemption.
How many times are we going to see that, dude?
God, they want redemption. I guarantee you they want redemption. They want a turkey leg at the 50 after the game's over.
Oh, man.
So the Yankees would be maybe the Red Sox probably Bucky Dent. But you don't want Bucky Dent buying a
Big Poppy. Big Poppy buys a piece of the Yankees.
Big Poppy, yes. It'd have to be a Red Sox, period.
Yeah.
And if you're the Red Sox, it'd have to be a Yankee, like Derek Jeter buying buying El Capitan buying a piece of your team.
Shaq by part of the Sacramento
Yes,
Kings.
he did.
He was calling
Yes,
the
he did.
Queens like in the playoffs.
Yes, he did.
He mocked the whole franchise. Degraded the entire organization. He's like, I'll take a piece of that.
Yes, I'll
Give
do
me a
that.
piece.
I said, hey, money's money. That's good.
Yeah. People say Jerry Jones to the 49ers says the Cash Creek text line.
Ooh.
4 and 5 says if Dave Cavill comes anywhere near the Giants.
He better not come near
That's pretty
anything.
good. Don't come near anything. Just go away.
So if you're the Celtics, to me, if you're the Celtics, it's Magic, and if it's the Lakers, it's Bird.
Yeah.
You just can't have. Who knows though? Magic's buying up everything else. You got a piece of the Lakers.
Dodgers.
Apparently, he's got a. Yeah, he's got a piece. I don't know if he has Lakers anymore. I meant Dodgers, but he is.
He has somebody else,
Apparently, he's part of the team that's buying the Commanders.
Oh, that's right. That's what I was just reading. Yeah, he's
Yep.
on the command. And that's going final soon, if it has not already. It was going final today. I think I saw earlier. Dan Snyder out. Bummer.
Out.
Let the door hit
Get
you,
out.
dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, 707 says Chip Kelly. Nah, that one's not painful. That's just like, don't hire him again, please.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's not painful. Painful. Like to me, it's got to be a Cowboy, a Seahawk, a Packer, maybe something like that. Like it's teams that dealt you a really
Painful
tough
losses,
blow, or somebody that left you, like somebody that said, "Yeah, I'm leaving here."
Or if KD bought OKC.
Exactly.
KD rolls back. He's like, yeah, I got all this Warrior money. I got money from the Suns and the Warriors and the Nets. I figure I'll buy this team now.
Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of me coming back?
Moving back
You
to
good?
Seattle. Just rip him out of the ground.
Oh, I got one for you. And this could be this could be the worst one for the Warriors. What if James Harden tried to buy a piece of the team?
Somebody said Chris Paul, and I was on that one too. I was
Chris
like,
Paul,
that would
yes,
suck.
yeah.
He's out there
Yeah,
like
I
season
like
ticket
Paul.
holder events, like shaking hands.
But I think Harden might be the worst. Like, you kidding me? Ain't this guy part of the team?
This is not a conversation. It's a conversation. It's not an interview. It's a conversation between Chris Paul and Tom Tolbert, a couple of friends.
No, it's not. Tom Tolbert is retired.
Dub Nation. What you're about to hear is not an interview.
415 says for the A's, it's John Fisher. yeah, that's it. Yeah, and for the Warriors, it's Cohen. It's Chris Cohen. Says the Cash Creek text line.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then one more on the 916 says for the 49ers, Bill Parcells.
Ooh, yeah.
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 Yeah. Can you imagine Belichick bought the Jets?
Yeah.
after he took the job for a day, yeah, he held I like to buy this team. I think it's a good investment. I like the city of New York. Urban Meyer buying the Jags. Oh, man. That's pretty good. OJ buying the Broncos. Hey-oh, on the other side, Marcus Thompson. Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. He's going to stop by. We'll talk a little bit of Game 6 with Marcus, and we'll talk about the other games across the NBA. We got one more Eastern Conference game that just tipped off a Game 6 between the Knicks and the Heat. Marcus Thompson next, then Giants pregame at 4:50 right here on The Sports Leader. The mighty Casey strikes again. 4 for 4 last night was Casey Schmidt with 3 RBIs, a double, and another home run in a Giants 6-2 win over the Diamondbacks. More on that story is trending on the all-new KNBR app.
It's time for Tolbert, Copes, and Thompson. Tom Tolbert and Adam Copeland with The Athletics' Marcus Thompson.
Sponsored by Truett & White, trusted by the pros for over 75 years. Let them be a one-stop shop for all your building material needs. Visit TruettandWhite.com.
On KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader. Sports Leader.
All right, let's go down to Los Angeles, City of the Angels, where we talk to Marcus Thompson of The Athletic, getting ready for Game 6, Lakers and Warriors in about 2 hours. Hello, Marcus.
Marcus.
What's up? Y'all ready for these ISOs all day?
Ready.
One-on-one, Steph Curry, all game, 100 of them. Let's go.
You love your ISOs. You're a big fan of the ISO.
It's the most appeasing style to watch, really.
I like back cuts certainly myself.
Yeah, I was being facetious. The back cuts are fun to watch.
I'm leaving.
What are we hearing about? What are we hearing about Andrew Wiggins today? Participated in the walkthrough, then went and got some treatment. They said he's going to go through his pregame routine and try to go, as the report earlier today. Is this a pain tolerance thing? Can he get more injured? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, it seems like it's about how much can he take. And apparently it's, like, pretty painful. Last year, 2019, Kevon Looney had a similar injury, maybe a little bit higher up, more sternum, but he ended up playing through it. And when I talked to Wiggins, he didn't seem like he was sitting out. He was just like, I'll be fine. And, he's been through a lot already, so he's been through quite a year, so I don't think he probably want to go out like that. So the question to me will be, how does he play, even if he's playing? Can you tell he's hurt? Can you tell he's limited? Or is he just going through it and like, I don't care, this is what I am? That, to me, is going to be the big difference, assuming he plays. So the question is, how does he play? Because he's guarding LeBron, and that's what they need him to do.
You wrote, I was going to say you wrote a nice article. All your articles are really good, but about Clay and Game 6s. And let me get you, because you got a pretty good pulse on the team. I'm wondering if you feel the same way I do, that, like, it almost feels like this one, he's talking about it, he knows about it. Like, this one means too much. Like, maybe not too much, but I don't know, they're making it bigger than it should be. Like with the LA connection, the Kobe connection, the fact that he hasn't been shooting well, everybody knows he plays well in Game 6. Like, I feel like people are trying, like, he's talking himself into it. Everybody's talking. How do you feel about it? I almost feel like it's like too much now. Like, he may go out and just, he may make or miss, but he's going to keep firing until he finds one way or the other. How do you see the whole thing? Because I don't know. It seems like there's a lot there on the plate, that, like, more stuff than normal he would have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot. You can see it over the, games 3 and 4, that he just wants it so badly, right? Like, he wants to put on the show. He wants to be the Clay everybody knows. You can tell he's got, friends and family here. It's, it's the court he grew up, idolizing it. You got the Kobe factor. And Clay already has this issue, outside of L.A. Just generally, he wants everybody to understand he's still Clay.
Yeah.
So it is definitely how does he handle that, right? Because the trick part is the more he wants it, the less it comes. So, and it's not until he plays it's fine, whatever. We're just going to play our game. Now he can get into that flow. But we've seen it. I mean, remember last year in the finals, Game 6, he went 5 for 20.
Yep.
He was trying so bad to all right, he's back. Game 6 play is back. So that's going to be the test, right? It's can he handle it? And I was impressed last game. He started off, he was chucking and forcing it, and then he just calmed down and stopped. He only took 12 shots. It was okay. He seemed fine with not getting them up, which may be a sign of maturity.
Talking to Marcus Thompson of The Athletic on the UMA guest line. Have you talked to Steph at all at any point about shooting at that building or in that building? It's the worst building for him shooting-wise of any building in the league. Warriors are 0-6 there now this year. Didn't beat the Clippers or the Lakers and haven't won there in the playoffs. They'd need a good performance, I would assume, from Steph tonight, especially if Wiggins is banged up. We don't know how much he's going to go. Have you talked to him at all about that, or is it just one of those things, just not a place where he's had success?
Yeah, he's been not. He doesn't like that topic. Right?
Yeah, I'd imagine
it's
so.
Been going on for years. Been going on for years. It's like a phenomenon. He can't wait. He can't wait to hit 8 of 10, so I can shut up about it. Right? Yeah. What is that? The craziest part is it's not the building. It's not the building. He's torched the Clippers in the same building. Right? He just dropped 50 earlier on Paul George, and remember he couldn't miss. It's something about when it's the Lakers, right? There's something about it. It's so odd. It's one of the rare phenomenons I feel in his whole career. He just doesn't shoot well when he plays the Lakers here, but he's done it before, right? It's not like he always can't shoot. He's made he had a better game this year during the regular season. He's had some games here. But overall, we've just seen him come into this building, and the three doesn't fall. So I bet you he would like for me to say, hey, you got any questions about this little thing you be talking about with the Lakers on the road? How about you ask me about that since I've made 12 threes tonight?
Yeah,
I think he would love to do that to me.
Well, I think the interesting part is it's the same building, Marcus, but unlike the Clippers, the Lakers shut the lights out basically over the crowd. So it's the same building, but I think the dynamics are a little bit different because they're able to do that.
That is interesting. I didn't even really think of that. Yeah. I was thinking maybe it's the yellow. Maybe he don't like their yellow.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the yellow.
That ain't our yellow.
That's part. Yeah, exactly.
Or the purple. I don't like that either.
So I don't even know how to phrase this question, to be honest with you. Jordan Poole, who could have a good game, could have a bad game. I have no idea. I don't even know really what he may be. I feel bad for him actually now because it's every national media, everybody just crushes this guy now, and it's it went from just kind of a little bit here and there to this is what everybody's kind of jumped on. And do you think he's capable? Last game, he had that one nice, just went to his left, pull up, jump shot, boom, just nailed it. And then the next shot was a 25-foot coming off a screen, drifting left that didn't have a chance of going in. You think he's capable of just deep breath, do the easy stuff, don't care, it's not diving, degree of difficulty doesn't count, 2-2, 3-3, doesn't matter. Is he capable of stringing those together, or is that always going to be kind of part of who he is, where degree of difficulty seems to be kind of a thing with him in terms of shot selection?
I mean, we've seen him do it, though, so it's hard to say it won't be a thing, but it may not be a thing this year that he can seem to do. Like, there are plays where it's like, hey, man, that's a nice little drive, nice under control mid-range. Oh, that's 2 in a row. And then 30 foot, let's go. It's like, yo, why'd you even take that?
Yeah.
And I remember last year in Boston, he wasn't even playing, like, a lot, but he come in that little space where Steph is sitting, and it was like, dribble to a spot, mid-range pull-up, right? Mid-range pull-up.
Yep.
I mean, he was torching Boston. Everything was so under control. I just think I think he has it in him, but he's just in this space and the way the season is gone and all that. Those 2 good plays in a row, it's like, oh, I'm back, baby. The pool party is back. Let's go.
The pool party.
Let me show y'all. Yeah, the pool is no longer empty. We splash it, and then he does it. So it'll be interesting. I think. And the crazy part about it is, like, he could really get 3, 4, 5 in a row.
He could.
That's exactly what you need. Like, that's what you need. But after 2, you're like, he's going to do it. He's going to take it, huh? Yeah. I just think I don't mind the shot so much as, I do mind the shot. Just because it's the refusal to drive, right? I get it. Every time 2 drives, that frees you up for a deep one. Now, I give some kind of formula like that where it's like, don't just stay behind the line, but we need you to get in the paint. So you get to take one of those every 2 or 3 times you drive. Like, to me, that where he just marries it. I mean, the whole team takes awful shots sometimes. So it's like, all right, but as long as he's not doing the other stuff or doing the other stuff or not avoiding it, I think it's a little bit more, palatable. But, yeah, I just think it's a lot to ask for him to go out and play a perfect game right now.
Yeah.
Just don't kill him. Just don't kill him.
I agree with you. Like, he's got a nice mid-range game. I think he kind of lost his head a little bit and some of his confidence during the Sacramento series when he got caught that one game just trying to draw fouls. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to jump into somebody and get to the free throw line. And it worked for him occasionally. It didn't work for him hardly at all in that series. And when that's your only goal is to draw a foul and you don't get the foul called, chances of that shot going in are drastically reduced, let's say. And so he did that multiple times. Jump into somebody, throw it up, end up on the ground. Kings are going the other way. So I think he kind of, for a minute there, was like, well, I don't want to drive because that's what I've been doing, that turning the ball over and end up on the ground. But I agree with you. If he could get to that like 15, 16, 13-foot range, he can pogo into those nice little floaters and jump shots. Like, it doesn't have to be all the way to the rim or a three-point shot. And then he's a good creator. Like, he's made some nice passes. He can do that too. I just think the more he takes the easy stuff, the stuff that's there for him, the more confidence he'll build. And then you can expand your game after that.
Yeah, and that takes a level of maturity, right? To understand, like, all right, and this is like old school, like, Jim Barnett, you're not making your shot, you work your way inside and get to the line to build a rhythm. But I feel like he's from that generation and, raised by stars like Stephen Clay, who, like, the solution to a struggling shot is the more shots.
Yeah,
it's true. Not always like the best way to do it. I do think a big problem is he just doesn't. His shot isn't where he wants it to be or where he's used to it to be. So now he just really wants to get that shot back. But I agree. To me, like, and by the way, for the record, 98% of the time they're fouls. They're just not giving it to him. Right? Like, and the crazy part is, like, that's partly on him, right? You got to figure out how to draw that because we're watching Dennis Schroeder do it, right? Yeah. We're watching D'Angelo Russell do it. But he just doesn't need to do that to get by his man. And I'm not driving. I'm just going to I'm going to go back to the top and then try to blow by. And it's like, dude, we know what you're doing. Right? like everybody knows the move you're doing. So just take the lanes when you get them, right? Like, hey, like, actually try to drive to beat this guy because you can beat him. Like, all of that stuff, I feel like he just has to, like, learn how to work around it. But now the workaround eventually it's going to work. Just keep shooting. He learned from the best. Like that's Clay and Steph's mantra. more Clay. You see, Clay did a pump fake and got fouled, almost had a heart attack.
He's been doing that well, though, the last couple months.
Like, I've been talking about the pump fake.
I wish he'd do it more because he jump stops and he's got such a quick release. All he has to do is show him that head shoulder, bam, and they're going to jump at it because they know he's going up with the jump shot. And that's like an automatic trip to the free throw line. I wish he'd try that 3 or 4 times a game. Here's my feeling on that, though. He feels like, well, I got him on it once. I'm not going to be able to get off my shot because they're not going to go for it this time. Then I'll have to pass it. It's like, well, that's okay. Just get it back and do it again later on. It's okay.
It's okay to pass, you said?
Yes, it is.
Say like, nah, man. 2 points from the line ain't the same.
I'm getting this. I need that sweet J.
You know what I'm saying? I need that. I don't know why, especially with the game on the line, I don't know why they don't. Like, when the game is on the line and those 2 dudes are on the court, like, is there a more terrifying thing? Like, use the pump. Like Steph, you will make all the free throws, and it will be a victory. So everybody just say you take that 3, give them a good pump fake, and the entire arena will go for it because you're Steph Curry, right? And win at the line, like, old school. But they're not built like that. They're not built to manufacture that way. They're trying to get that bucket. They grew up making shots. It's all about making shots anywhere but the free throw line.
They shot their way into it. They'll shoot their way out, right? Like that's the way volume shooters operate. Are you wary of the quote LeBron game tonight?
Yes. I do feel like, especially if Wiggins is, Wiggins has got a big target on his jersey, like right there where Bron's like, hey, plant shoulder here, right? Like I feel like he still hasn't had a great game, and you think it's coming. You talk to people, around the Lakers who are like, I don't know if he has it. I don't know if he can do that. So it may not be a game as much as it is a quarter, an important quarter, maybe a good half. So a part of me is like, yes. I just know this. There's nothing LeBron would hate more than to lose to Steph Curry. So I think he might want to ward that off with all of his might. But the question is, he's not 100%. Like, we saw him tweak that foot a little bit in game. I think it was game 5. So, and he's 38. He just needs somebody else to buy him some time. He can't do it for 4 quarters probably, but he can give you 2 big ones if he needs to. So if they get him to the 4th, I could see him doing something, that reminds you that he's one of the greats of all time.
If Wiggins isn't quite 100%, or if he's limited, is it too much to ask to have Draymond? No, stop. I'm not going to say go. I'm not doing Curry to take over and take 70 shots a game. Is it too much to ask to have Draymond be aggressive 2 games in a row?
No, I think they need him to do it. It might be too much to ask for him to put up 7 of 11.
Yeah.
Right, while they're waiting for it. But I don't know. I'm of the belief that Draymond can get you 15 a night.
I agree.
It's not like he's got to hit 5 threes. Just the way he plays, if he just decides 10 times a night, I'm going to look for my shot. I feel like he could get 15 points. I don't think it's that difficult. The question is, what happens after he misses the first one? And if he misses the first question. 2, if he hits that first 3, it's on. And I tried to talk to him today at shoot around, but man, he was lathered up, right? Like he just wasn't out in the talking mood. Like he was about business, right? He just had that look. And I think as much as LeBron don't want to lose to Steph and the Warriors, I think they don't want to lose to this. They don't want to deal with this either. So I don't think it's crazy to ask. The last time we saw it, though, I would say was 2019 West Finals when he just completely owned Portland. Like every night he was going out there giving it to him. I think it's possible, but he's got to be able to overcome the fact that he might miss the first 2 or he might miss a 3 badly enough to make the crowd go crazy or get a shot blocked, and he just can't stop being aggressive because that happened. If he does that, then it's fine because
You don't need them. You don't need as much the 15, 20 points. You need them to think that it will happen, because in the time that they think it will happen is the half a second Steph and Clay need to get open. But if they're just like whatever, then you take away that half a second for Steph and Clay. So I do feel like he can do it. I just don't know if it'll be 7 for 11.
Yeah, it's funny because you did the same thing I said. Like it a lot of it's dependent on the first couple shots. If he makes one of them, makes the first one, we're good to go. If he misses the first couple, then maybe he gets a little more passive. He can still affect the game, most certainly. He's done it before, but I think tonight may be a night where you need him to be a little more aggressive. All right, before I let you run, so exactly how many Steph ISOs do you want? How many Steph field goal attempts do you want? Like 40?
All right, so I feel like there's been a gross mischaracterization of my stance on this. I just want, like, you decide how you want to distribute it, ISO, pick and roll, whatever. I just want the ball in Steph's hands.
Okay.
That's what I want. And some series it's just like that. Yes, 100 of them things. 100 pick and rolls, ISO. Here's my issue that just gets a little bit, like, frustrating sometimes watching the Warriors, right? They'll do 7 passes to get Andrew Wiggins one-on-one on, like, the right baseline. But 4 passes earlier, like, Steph had D'Angelo Russell on them. like, I get that's not your offense, but let's see which one is better. Steph on D'Angelo Russell or Andrew Wiggins with 7 seconds left on the shot clock going ISO. I do feel like there's one dude in the history of basketball that makes the defenses freak out like that's Steph Curry, like no matter where you are. So it's LeBron too, man. Do you see him like orchestrating? You haven't seen a relocation yet for Steph. The whole pass, move, and jump. LeBron has all that covered. He's played this dude 1,000 times. He's seen it. He's been burned too many times. Like all that fancy stuff ain't working on this. At some point, you just need to say, "Hey, let's go." Let me get on Keegan Murray. That's what they did against Sacramento. Hey, Keegan, where you at? Terrence Davis. Let's see. I feel like they need to do that, but it don't. You can do pick and roll if you want to. Tom. You can do ISO. Your call. I just want it to be the ball in Steph's hands and let him make the play. Let him figure it out, and the rest of you can stand off the ball and catch your breath. At least against the Lakers. When they make it to Denver, we can change the philosophy, but. Ball in Steph's hands 100 times.
Marcus says, "Give me the dictator tonight. I don't need democracy."
Get all that,
no democracy, no communism, none of that, dude. We're going straight up democracy or dictatorship with Steph Curry taking down the Lakers tonight. Marcus, good luck tonight. Enjoy the game on Sunday, and we will talk to you next week, dude.
All right, have a good one.
All right, man, we'll catch you later. Great stuff from Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. We have Giants pregame coming up in about 25 minutes at 5:40. We've got a sound soiree for you on the other side. Casey Schmidt, the newest San Francisco Giant, his second homer on a 4-for-4 night yesterday where he drove in 3 runs. He joined Papa and Lund earlier today. We'll get you that sound. You got to hear what Draymond had to say about meeting Matthew McConaughey, and Kevin Durant checked in on the difficulties of joining a team mid-season. That's all coming your way. A sound soiree is next, and we are streaming live. KNBR.com, the KNBR app, and on YouTube. You can check it all out. It's KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader. The 49ers' full schedule was released for the 2023 season, including games on Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. More on that story, and you can check out the full schedule trending now on the all-new KNBR app.
Hey everybody, Mr. T here for Xfinity. Everything's changing rapidly these days. You got to keep up, especially with your Wi-Fi, right? You got people at home that are working, schooling, gaming, streaming, just on the internet cruising, on all kinds of devices, laptop, desktop, tablet, phone. You want everyone to, nobody wants lagging. Nobody wants lagging. And if they get lagging, you get whining. And I know you don't want whining either. That's why you get with Xfinity 10G network. Yeah, everyone gets taken care of. The people that I mentioned getting taken care of, 10 times that many people could be in your house. They'd all get taken care of. They're having a big party with everybody on their phone, enjoying themselves, enjoying your 10G. That's right. That's what they would be enjoying. It'd be a brutal party, everyone on their tablets, but no lagging. You got that going for you, which is nice. So how does 10G sound to you? Because I'm sure you're like me. You have a bunch of people in the house. You want to take care of them. You don't want any whining. You want 10G. And right now through June 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required, and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. All you have to do is go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or if you're out and about, visit an Xfinity store today. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay, stored bank account, restrictions apply, tax fees extra after promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. You love sports, you love high def, you love incredibly fast Wi-Fi, and reliability that goes with it. Oh, you're going to love 10G, and you are going to love Xfinity.
This is Tolbert and Cope's Sound Soiree.
No, I've whipped up this nasty little soiree.
The best sounds you might have missed.
Soiree, what?
Soiree, honey. I think that means party.
On the sports leader.
Tolbert and Cope's Friday. I think when we move to 5, I can go Friday evening. We're about an hour and a half from the Warriors and the Lakers tipping off for Game 6. It is a 10-point lead for the Knicks right now in Game 6 down in Miami. 34-24, 11 to play in the first half. 11:04 to play in the first half, actually. And we have Giants pregame coming your way in about 18 minutes. Get some Casey Schmidt tonight. That'll be fun out in Arizona. Opportunity to win Game 2. And the Giants are 17-20. D-backs are 20-17. So a chance for the Giants to make up some ground here in the NL West. Thank you, John. Let's get into our sound soiree for today. I got to pull up my box score here because Derek threw in something a little bit random here. But apparently it's pretty good sound. The Royals yesterday, I guess, won a game on a walk-off bunt. Guy named Freddie Furman, not Freddie Freeman. Freddie Furman bunts in the ninth inning.
In relation to Mark?
Yeah, it's spelled differently, but Tim beat you to the punch.
Oh, damn it. Great minds.
Tim beat you to it. Yeah, so I guess they go into the ninth inning and they're trailing. No, it's tied 3-3 is what it is. 3-3 in the ninth. White Sox go scoreless top of the ninth. Royals come up in the bottom of the ninth inning. I got to get you the ninth inning play-by-play here real quickly because the walk-off bunt sounds like it could be exciting here. So leadoff walk here for Prado for the Royals. Garcia then strikes out swinging. Then Duffy singles to right. That's Matt Duffy, by the way. Matt Duffy singles to right. So now you got first and third, one away, 3-3 game. Not Freddie Freeman. Here comes Freddie Furman, not Mark Furman, Fred Furman. He plays for the Royals in Kansas City. Here he is at the plate yesterday.
And a bunt attempt. The bunt is down, and Fermin wins the game. You can't bring the infield in that far, and School is out.
So it's Fermin? I guess it's Felix Fermin. And that's Freddie Fermin. He fouled off a couple of bunt attempts earlier this week. They said and they had no qualms about calling for it again. He's the backup catcher. Drops down a suicide squeeze to win the game. How about that? That's a tough play. Pretty cool. Pretty cool that that's back in baseball. A little bit of small ball to win. And when you're that bad, I mean, you're the Royals. Why not? Throw some crap against the wall. See what sticks at 12-27.
Exactly.
You got 11 wins going into that. You're facing, by the way, at that point, a team with 13 wins. So see what you can do. Minnesota's leading that
division. Good tickets still available.
Thank you. Yeah, all tickets still available. Good place to see a game, by the way, Kauffman Stadium. You ever been to that ballpark?
I have.
That's a pretty yard, man.
Yeah, I've been there a long time ago. I think I told you we were there with George Taco Bell and Jesse Barfield.
George Taco Bell. George Bell?
Yes, George Bell.
That's incredible. And Jesse,
it was 80. It must have been 89. It was the year we were there for the Final Four. So it was 88, 89, right around there.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
That was awesome.
In a Waffle House
would have been a lot more awesome if it had won, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
But now we're right back to that. Yeah. How about Casey Schmidt? How about we bring your spirits up? Casey Schmidt yesterday.
Yeah, let's do that.
4 for 4. It's his second home run. He comes on with Papa and Lund today, and they wanted to ask him. I guess. Well, he was talking about coming up for his first big league at bat. And Tom, you saw the section that he had out there. He had like 50 people. They said.
I know.
Fleming told us 50 people, and somebody else told us was it John the other day said like his dad is like following him around. His dad like went to Arizona and he's like coming on back.
Oh, really?
He's gonna like Winnebago around the country, following around Casey Schmidt. Anyway, here he is today, earlier today on Papa and Lund. You can listen to all of this on the all new KNBR app, and we're streaming all the shows live now, so you can check out the video element of that. But Casey Schmidt joined Papa and Lund earlier today, talking about how many people he had at the game for his big league debut.
Yeah, it was it was unbelievable. That whole day was just so special to me, and especially with my family and my friends. It was. I can't put it into words, the feelings that were going on, but I was just so happy, and I was just so excited that, I was able to do that in front of my family and friends and the Giants fans and stuff. So it was that was just such a special moment for me, and it's something that I'm never going to forget, and it was just amazing.
All it was missing, Tom, and you've brought this up before, is when like the interviewer is sitting there talking to the parent when the guy comes up to hit. and gets his first big league knock. Those are cool moments. But that was it's been a cool first week, man, for Casey Schmidt. I'm trying to remember the last Giants offensive prospect that we were this high on, who came up and was immediately making an impact. Like, we were high on Buster Posey. He came up in May, but he had also previously come up for a September call-up the year before, so it's a little bit different. Lincecum was like that, but he was a pitcher. There was a lot of excitement around that. Bumgarner, a little bit different. That was near the end of 2009. I don't know. Like,
wasn't Lincecum's first appearance against the Cardinals on Sunday Night
It was the Phillies. I was at that game. It was the Phillies.
Okay, and it was like a relief appearance, right?
No, he started. It was Sunday Night Baseball. He started on national TV, Sunday Night Baseball, and dude, he was throwing. I think, as Krug would say, he was blowing cheese.
I remember the 98.
He was pumping hot.
I don't know why I thought he came out of the bullpen, but
I think he had a Nuke LaLoosh line too. 5 pitches, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, 5 wild pitches. I think he was like 5 across the board. I think Howard got him for one. I want to say like Victorino might have hit one off of him too.
He is blowing cheese.
Bring that back. I missed that thing. Keep that around. I like that.
Do they have anybody that blows cheese though that starts
right now?
They got a couple guys out of the bullpen, one in particular, but
Waits and Duvall both. Yeah, no.
Does anybody in the starting rotation blow cheese?
Not really. I wonder velocity wise if they throw the slowest of any team in. I guess
they even handle cheese.
I guess Alex Cobb throws fairly hard. He'll pump in the mid to high 90s.
You're right.
Not like
95, 96 occasionally.
But he's not a strikeout guy. You know, like he's throwing that to get it up there with movement with the sinker. So, yeah, they don't have a lot of guys.
He is blowing cheese.
I don't know for Casey Schmidt. The last time, 808 KNBR, last time the Giants had an offensive prospect, Belt, was Belt that highly touted? I mean, I know.
Pablo was pretty highly touted, wasn't he?
I don't think so. I remember I saw Pablo in Single A the year that he came up. I saw him in San Jose. He was a switch hitting catcher. I saw him at a home run from both sides of the plate in the same game. Belt hit 300 at all 3 levels. Okay, so there's one. I can't remember honestly being real stoked about Belt. Like couldn't wait. I was like, man, Huff's gone. More from the sounds. I was like, man, we can't bring Huff back. Aw. Jason Tatum last night. Jason Tatum starts 0 for 10. Ends up having a good fourth quarter. You said 14. I thought he had 16 in the fourth. Maybe it was 14.
Did he have 16? Yeah, it was a monster fourth.
It was 16, says Derek. Yeah, it was a big fourth quarter. Started 0 for 10 and was not looking good even through 3 quarters. James Harden didn't have a good game either. Anyway, they asked Jason Tatum about his early struggles before being resilient and having a big fourth quarter for the Celtics.
Struggle through the first 3 quarters with 16 points in that fourth quarter. How do you describe the confidence you had to trust yourself down the stretch?
I'm humbly one of the best basketball players in the world. You know, go through struggles, go through slumps. It's a long game. And, thankfully I got some great teammates that held it down.
Humbly, Tom, I'm the most handsome man you've ever met.
I'm just a humble mother with a big ass.
He is right, though.
He is right, but why'd you put humble? You don't have to be humble. You are. You're like 6'10", and you're a freak, man. You're one of the best basketball players in the world. You don't have to be humble about it, but it's funny it's always funny when people state that. My biggest flaw
I guess they feel like if they say it, then it comes across as arrogant. And I know where he's going. It's tough to talk about yourself like that. Like, yo, I'm a bad mother. Yo, pick up my wallet. Which one's your wallet? The one that says bad mother? That's my wallet.
We got more Tatum, actually. Yeah.
Well, I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
Oh, Ricky, that's stupid. What do you mean? You can come in second, third, fourth? What? I love that.
You can even be fourth.
That's
Rick, I was high when I said that.
Oh man, when he hit that jumper, step back left wing over Embiid, that's the one that got him going. Mm-hmm. He drilled it, and then drilled another one right behind it, and then I think he might have missed one, and then came back and drilled another one, and I was like, Sixers are in trouble now. Of course, what else hurt the Sixers was dropping a cool 13 in the fourth quarter. That's not going to help your cause. Scoring 13 in a quarter.
Yeah, right.
Especially the fourth quarter isn't going to help your cause. So, again.
Or 17, Dubs, just putting that out there. 17 in a fourth is not going to help you.
Exactly. Robert Williams was the key. Robert Williams is a beast.
Into the lineup.
He's really good defensively. And they finally did it. I was wondering why he wouldn't start. I know they were kind of saving him all year because he's a guy that's injured and he can't stay in the lineup, and they wanted to nurse him through the season. He didn't play a ton of minutes last night. He only played 28. But I was like, are we going to start this guy? Like last year, they were so hard to score against when he was in the starting lineup. And again, you don't really sacrifice stretching the floor because Horford's out there. Now, he was 0 for 7 the game before, but, that happens. So you still have guys that can stretch the court. You got Brown, you got Tatum, you got Smart, you got Horford, and then you have Williams kind of patrolling the middle a little bit. And it is still valuable to have that vertical lob threat because that makes the defense, at least a center anyway, not be able to come out so high. You gotta stay back a little bit just in case, because if you come out, they just throw it over your head to dunk. Boom. They used to do that with Festus, JaVale McGee, Andrew Bogut. So, I mean, that's always a bonus to have that guy in the dunker's position. And for those that don't know what the dunker spot is, that little line on the baseline. You can see there's like a little line there on some courts, but if they don't have that line, it's probably about 5 feet outside the lane, and you just kind of hang there. And when somebody drives, if your guy steps up, then they just drop it off, bounce pass, and you finish, or they just throw it over the top.
You one step, one dribble go, one pump go.
Yeah, so they have that with Robert Williams now. I mean, he's a monster. But, it took him a while to finally get there, but I don't see Philly winning, but it is a Game 7. Anything can happen in a Game 7. You have the damn MVP. He could go for 40 on you. We've seen James Harden have 2 games where he's just unstoppable, so that's always a possibility too. But at least we have 1. We're hoping to get a couple more tonight. I'd love to see 3 Game 7s on a Sunday. That would be incredible. But we will find out tonight.
Well, I think we only get 2 because I think the next one will be Monday.
That's right. Because the other one's over. You're right.
They should just say screw you. You're playing Sunday. We want 3.
Sorry,
we got room.
We moved your game.
We got room now. You shouldn't have gone to 7. It wouldn't be a problem. One more here for you before we get you ready for Giants pregame. This is Draymond on his podcast yesterday talking about the stars that came out for Game 5. He got to meet Matt McConaughey. Here's Draymond.
I got a chance to see the great Matthew McConaughey after the game. It's absolutely incredible to meet him. One of the perks of playing for the Golden State Warriors is like you're around greats. Like the list goes on and on and on. We're lucky to be around those types of people and learning from them and rubbing elbows. Like it's absolutely incredible. You're talking about some of the best in the world at what they do. So I'm always appreciative of that.
Wonder what he learned from McConaughey. I don't know what he learned from Matt McConaughey. The hacky sack, yeah.
When we showed him on the TV, I'm like, I didn't even recognize him. He had a shirt on.
McConaughey?
Yeah. Loves having the shirt off. He came out after the game, though. He was out there shooting with his son on the court. You're out there, exactly. Little Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I don't know. Talking Angels in the outfield in the background. He's in that one, too. No lines for McConaughey in that one. All right, that's your sounds for
He's in Angels in the outfield?
Dude, so is, who's the other guy who won for The Pianist? The guy who's in Winning Time. I'm blanking on his name. Adrian Brody. Dude, both guys, McConaughey and Brody, are in, background players. They weren't taking away Tony Danza's lines. They weren't taking away my boy Danza.
You're kidding me. They were on the team? I didn't know that.
That was Mel Clark, man. Yeah, come on.
Wow.
I'll shoot you a shot of it.
No idea.
You get Brody and McConaughey win an Oscar standing in the background. We'll get you ready for Giants pregame on the other side. Tolbert and Copes on the Sports Leader. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here for O'Donnell Financial Group. Look, whether you're retired or you're planning on being retired, don't you want to know whether you're paying too much in fees or taking too much risk, or even if you're going to be able to live the lifestyle that you've always envisioned in retirement? Well, for more than 3 decades, it's over 30 years, Greg O'Donnell has been helping people just like you right here in the Bay Area plan, protect, and pass on their wealth to their loved ones. So if you're interested in learning how O'Donnell Financial Group can help you and your family, give them a call. Greg and his team are awesome to talk to. They're helpful, they're kind, and they'll walk you through for a no-cost or no-obligation consultation. Call them today, 866-496-2300, or you can visit them online at o'donnellfinancialgroup.com. That's 866-496-2300 or at o'donnellfinancialgroup.com, because planning is a process, not a product. Investment advice offered through O'Donnell Financial Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor, registered representative offering securities and advisory services through Independent Financial Group, LLC.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's get on out of here. Well, thank everybody, and then we'll get you ready for the D-backs and the Giants. Thank you to Mike Trudell. Talk a little Laker Warriors of Spectrum. Jeremy Appel joins us every Friday. Always fun having Jeremy on, talking about baseball on his podcast. And then Marcus Thompson from The Athletic Live down in Los Angeles. Thank you very much to Derek. Appreciate it. Thank you very much to Tim. As always, great job, fellas. And I guess that's about it. I think it's time. Is it not? Yes, it is.
Time.
It's time for the Giants and the D-backs right here on the Sports Leader. Take it away, Dirk.